taken off the field.
Chat, come back. I'm sorry. I'm having internet issues. I told you all. I'm so sad. That was a terrible time for the stream to crash. Come back. Come back. Everybody, come back. I'm here.
Using any position here from Wolf is the thing to do. And just take the
come back. I'm sorry.
You've got at your disposal to kind of work around Hirofumi's threats.
Come back. I'm gonna post it here, okay? I swear.
Ice Rider coming back in, especially too if you do think it is just going to be
I'm back. I'm sorry.
And an opportunity to keep this Flutter Mane nice and safe.
I'm sorry.
Well. Really just a preservation
my
of the
internet crashed. I'm back.
The Incineroar will be the only one to act the parting shot.
I'm sorry. And then Streamlabs crash. Okay, Wolf. Let's focus on Wolf, and then we get all this chat back. I like the internet crashed for 2 seconds. The stream, and then the stream died for some reason. We're back. We're fine. I'm sorry. Wolf is doing good. That's what we missed. Tell your friends we're back.
Attack drop, Astro Barrage coming out.
We can't get that special attack drop. You can't get nearly enough damage.
Ooh, come on.
That Calyrex Ice Rider will be holding on. No attack from the Incineroar. Again, this parting shot.
The parting shot was great.
Opportunity to go again over on Hirofumi's end. And Wolf, this will be a forced pivot on out. We've gotten to see the
yes, I think Wolf is heading for the win. Like if he plays this well, his in.
Took a lot of damage earlier on.
Yeah, and I think the one thing you want to avoid if you are Wolf is bringing in the Ferrograph to potentially get knocked out and give that chilling near boost, because that's the one thing you want to avoid at all costs. You don't want to allow this Pokemon on Hirofumi's side to get any sort
of yes, there is a double Incineroar. I didn't notice.
The Urshifu command, it is going to resist.
Oh yeah, now they fixed it. Damn it, I was going to zoom in. Calyrex tanked this. This is crazy.
I'm still lining up this Flutter Mane and the damage output that it can have on this turn. The Calyrex just holds on. Both of them
I am going to send a message on Discord that we're back.
Joining the field. The sash will be broken. You can be ending at least on the other end since you do have access to that priority.
Yeah, and the thing is going for the Aquajet into that slot is locking that whatever comes in here. The Chi switches in, it's going down.
Everybody
the Calyrex stays on the field, it's going down. Unfortunately, Wolf has got himself into a really good pin position. Then all you need to do is deal with this Flutter Mane. You could even go for maybe a side shock this turn into that Flutter Mane. Just try and get some damage off before your Calyrex goes down. Maybe even switch out this turn into the Incineroar. It's a pretty safe switch when you've got the cover from that Aquajet.
It will be the Protect to be kicking off the turn as Aquajet priority will eliminate this Calyrex and officially bring her from
It's a Wolf day, everybody.
Plus a Chi-Yu that's definitely not looking in the greatest shape. Dazzling Gleam. It won't do anything into the Calyrex, and since it is spread damage, it's going to be doing less. And the Urshifu
Hi, Internet Explorer. You crashed just like me.
Fantastic KO to get. So your Chi-Yu could be surviving through this, but just falling a little short.
Yeah, and even if
all of Hirofumi's team is not legal in the upcoming regulation. Yes, like that's how crazy the meta changes in VGC are. Wolf is playing for his life, for sure.
Out into that slot, even though it's got the Cold Claw, you're still picking up the knockout, and then all you need to deal with is that Flutter Mane. So the Aquajet here, an easy play for Wolf. Not wanting to lose that Calyrex for free, switching it out. More importantly, bringing that Incineroar back onto the field. Not going to be as strength.
Incineroar the feisty. He had a different title for Incineroar in the last match, didn't he? It was something else. Am I crazy?
As officially the Chi-Yu, the Aquajet, no chance is going to be feigning. It's now just this Terra normal Flutter Mane. Another round of Dazzling Gleam. The Urshifu already on a sliver of health is going to be KO'd.
Chat.
You have this Incineroar in.
Chat.
You have the fake out pressure.
This is a Wolf Blick win, chat.
Something that can start to deal with this Flutter Mane a little better.
Yeah, Wolf's got the lock here. He's got the fake out here. Even if the Flutter Mane does protect, you've got the option to go for the trick room with the Ferrograph, and then you're in a position where you can just close this.
I love that the commentator just literally said what Wolfie did half a second after.
That's going to be the fake out to really make it official. As for Rigora, that's the last.
He has just like a bust of Incineroar. He has a box of Incineroar. So like, so his soul to Incineroar to become the world champion.
And now you can just slowly but surely play this game. There's only the
Wolf remains without losing a single match, and that's crazy. That's legit crazy. Like 2-0. He won. This is insane. He's on fucking fire! This man is on fire! Somebody stop this man! It's the world, like, it's not even the world champ diff, it's the by champion diff at this point.
Just didn't give any opportunity to Hirofumi through that entire
Is this
set.
going to be an
Just
18-0?
phenomenal to
I
watch.
don't know.
Had a game plan,
I
came
don't
into
really
it, stuck
know.
to it,
Like,
kept his composure. This man is on a
like,
tear this
Hero
weekend, and it's not stopping here. It's gonna
Hero
be
hadn't
ready to
not
go for everything
Hero
looking
also
going in
hadn't
the right
lost a
direction
single
for
game this
Wolf.
far.
What's
And
gonna
like,
stop this reign of terror that he is inflicting on
Wolf is on
Right now,
fire.
because undefeated, not even a single game drop.
That's what I said, Sierra. His
the caliber of
look.
trainers here, and Hirofumi.
I don't wanna jinx it. I have something I wanna say, but I don't wanna jinx
But
it.
it's not going to be here, and I mean that's tough.
Okay, I will. Jinx doesn't exist. Luck is non-existent. I will say something. I was feeling the same at the Olympics last week with the Brazilian volleyball team. They arrived at the semifinals without losing a single set. Like, because in volleyball you need to win 3 sets to win the game, or 2 sets. I don't know, like 3 sets to win the game. And the Brazilian national team got to the semifinals without losing a single set, and then we lost to the United States.
Just testament to Wolf in a lot of
So
ways.
anything can happen. Like him being undefeated is really impressive. That being said, if he loses twice, then he's out, right? So it's not about being undefeated; it's about making through all the games. That is very impressive, but I don't think. I think the vibe of we already won. I don't think he's in that vibe. I think we are in that vibe. Like, Wolf is the champion already, give him the title. I think that is a very dangerous, like, as a supporter, that is a very dangerous position to take, for sure.
Pressure we could see from there on out was then pressure that you kind of lose a little bit in a way too, because then Wolf can start playing,
Wolf
okay, well,
loses like 2 matches from now, and then we're all gonna be disappointed, and like, let's hype it up, win, hype, but let's do it responsibly. Let's not hype it up too much.
So key.
Yeah, and I think that one other thing as well that we probably didn't talk on as much was...
I'm happy Azumarill is the meta in the Go Championship right now. I love Azumarill. Also, it should be, I don't know, I think Huge Power Azumarill is such a fun Pokemon to use in Nuzlocke and stuff, so I love Azumarill.
Which made it a lot easier to deal with that 3-on-1 situation against
Wolf is the only former world champion not to lose their game on camera. Very nice comment, Sunny. Thinking about it makes so much sense though, because Wolf generally plays with 1 or 2 mons that are not the most used while trying to move around meta teams, yes. The live crashed before, so let me tell you guys something. Okay, I'm gonna put you in lower volume. Let me tell you a story. I moved houses last month and I still don't have internet. I am streaming Are we crashing again? Are we gonna crash again? Did we just crash? Are we live? Can I please get a single comment from somebody saying if we're live?
That Raging Bolt can kind of just be, I mean, that Raging Bolt was something that in game 1 looked like it could really turn the tides of the battle. Unfortunately, falling a little short. And in that game 2, could have put a lot of pressure. But then Wolf already making that heads-up play and bringing the Farigiraf and softening that priority.
Okay, we're live. We're good. I had a mini heart attack for a second just because the YouTube video paused, and that's exactly what happened last time. Let me tell you a story. I don't have internet in my house. I am streaming to you, dear stranger online. I'm routing 5G from my phone. That's how we're streaming. So it is a very... We can crash at any time, but I am going to try to come back. Unless I say goodbye, I am coming back, okay? So... If I crash, I am so sorry. I am just trying... It's Vodafone's fault. Let's hear Wolf. This is an improvised stream.
Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. When I envisioned what the ideal world would look like this year, this is pretty close to it thus far.
I mean, you've been very good throughout the season, just picking a goal, visualizing it, and then achieving it. So what was your mindset coming into this tournament to prep?
Bring us in, Aurora.
So this format is really difficult because there are so many different viable compositions. Like, I think there might be as many as 10 times more than normal, just because there's all these different like single restricted Pokemon, and each of those like can be used in different ways, and so there's just so many compositions. So my idea was, rather than trying to use a team, a team that gives me a positive matchup into whatever I play against, I'd rather have a team that like is generally very strong, and I don't have any like severe losing matchups, and then I can just focus on playing and like learning how to use the team rather than trying to like gain an advantage via like the team builder, basically.
That's basically what we were talking about earlier on Twitter. Like, it is the meta. He's using the meta
That was
team.
the first restricted team that I know
Like,
you
there's not a
built
single
and
gimmick
got
on
a lot
his
of
team.
success with. Was that intentional to come back to that pick for this tournament?
Yeah, so when I was working for NAIC, for North American Internationals, I figured out that I really liked Terra Water Calyrex Shadow. Like, it was such a cool way of using the Pokemon, it felt really good to me, and so, like, I actually debated not even bringing it to NAIC because I thought it was so strong, but in the end, I'm glad that I did.
Can you imagine not bringing a Pokemon because it's too strong?
11 wins, 4 losses, and I was like, my opponents were really good, they played really well, and, like, I don't think my team was the final form of what it could be, and if I like improved some of the details of the team and if I like learned to use it a bit better, then I thought I could do well. So I kind of just kept using it, and I think it makes sense in this format because experience matters a lot, because there are so many like compositions, you need to know how to play against as many of them as possible. So it was definitely an intentional decision to like pick a team that I thought was strong enough in theory and then just continue using it so I could really develop as much of a mastery of it as I could.
I mean,
Fun fact, I think he's wearing the watch that he does the advertising for in his videos. Like, it looks... I can only see the watch. It's kind of funny.
Ice Rider with Never Melt Ice, Terra Normal Fluttermane. I don't think anybody
I
was
love her
anticipating
Squirtle pin,
seeing
by
a
the
team
way.
like that.
Look at that.
So how did your understanding of your team help you puzzle through what you were facing in that matchup?
Yeah, so normally when you're using Calyrex Shadow, you're kind of forced to Terrestrialize because they have so many Pokemon that can knock it out in one hit, but in this matchup, I realized that I might not need to Terrestrialize Calyrex Shadow as long as I eliminated the Chi-Yu. So in the first game, I kind of focused on using Rillaboom and Urshifu to put pressure on the Chi-Yu and try to get rid of it right away. And also, like, Never Melt Ice Calyrex is really strong, but it's a lot weaker versus Incineroar, and so I knew that, like, I think that's part of why Hirofumi didn't bring Calyrex Ice Game 1, because Incineroar is just so good into it, and so I knew that, like, basically by using Calyrex Shadow and Incineroar in the late game, they would be, like, good enough to carry me through. So it was kind of just about getting there. Went a little off the rails because he played so well and really caught me off guard, and so I had to scramble a bit, but yeah, in the end, it was like my Pokemon were so strong that even though things went a bit awry, it still worked out.
It was a really fun
It did work out, both. It worked out. You won 2-0.
It felt like you were just in the commanding seat for that. How did you take the knowledge you got from game 1 and sort of adjust your
She's an
game
incredible
plan?
caster and interviewer, and her eyeshadow is on point.
Game 1 because it's so threatening into Shadow Rider. And so when I showed that I was doing like, oh yeah, Rillaboom Urshifu, I thought he might like switch up his Pokemon in some way, and if he leads pretty much anything else, or
hey, Coffee
most other
Steve,
combinations,
welcome.
the combination of Incineroar and Calyrex is really good just from the get-go, and so yeah, when I saw that I had like a really good lead advantage with like, it was probably the best leads I could have asked for, I felt really good, and I debated kind of setting up my Calyrex and going for a nasty plot, but I thought like maybe I should just get damage down, you know, like I don't think he's gonna protect.
Just attack,
like,
Wolf. Just attack. Why nasty? Just fucking
yeah,
go.
Let's go for damage, and I feel like that turn 1 advantage, and then the turn 2 KO and Raging Bolt, like just gave me such a commanding lead because I also dealt damage to the Chi-Yu. He almost clawed it back. I think that like probably there was a safer way for me to get to the end game, but he just played so well. But yeah, like it was really close, and yeah, I kind of just focused on using the Pokemon I knew were strong, one time in the back and one time up front.
Nice. Well, I'm going to change gears a little bit. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot on stream this weekend about the history of the Pokemon World Championships, and I think I remember actually watching you compete last time we were in Hawaii back in 2012. I have a bunch of
We were talking about the Hawaii Internationals earlier on the
particular.
stream that fell.
You know, that was
Sorry,
a very
Chad,
big
I'm not
day
reading
for
a
you
lot,
back
I'm just
then. Here you are now. It's a very
giving
big
the spotlight
day.
to
What
Mr.
advice do
Glink.
you wish you could give yourself in 2012 when you were back on that stage?
That's a good question. Yeah, I was also reflecting kind of my first time back in Hawaii since 2012. You know, it's funny, like, I looking back, there's so many things that I did wrong in that finals, but, like, the truth is that I'm kind of happy things worked out the way that they did. I don't think I was, like, emotionally mature enough at the time to handle winning the World Championships. Like, I think it would have, like, in the end, been a bad thing for me, and I'm kind of glad that I had that big failure in the finals when I did, because I think it really pushed me to, like, grow and mature in ways that I worry that if I'd gone, like, you know, winning Worlds my second season after winning Nationals twice and the crazy start I had, like, I think it would have been probably, like, I think I would have a less healthy relationship with Pokemon now. So, yeah, like, even though
losing is important,
I'm
everybody.
happy with how things played out.
That's
Well,
also
congratulations,
Lassie. I'm
Mark,
sorry
congratulations today.
that
Do you have
Hirofumi
anybody at
lost,
home you wanna
but
give a
I
shout
hope
out
you
to?
you stay with us for the
so
rest of
many
this
people who
stream.
have just supported me the whole way. Let's see, the people, my Pokemon squad, Aaron, Yuki, Brendan, Billa, Marcus, Dylan, Ed, Justin, I'm forgetting somebody.
You're forgetting me, Wolfie. You're forgetting me. I made the Mungus video.
Ellie, Max, all the people at home who are watching and cheering.
He talked about us, chat.
My friends, and they're, you know, I'm getting text updates. I have to put it on like do not disturb while I'm playing, or else it buzzes the whole time. Yeah, I've just been helped by so many people, and I really feel so supported. My family, the Weisses, like it's just so many people have been supporting me. So there's plenty I've forgotten, but I really hope that I can come on an interview again later and do it justice.
All right, well, Wolf, thank you so much for your time this weekend. Best of luck in the rest of the competition. And we'll be back with more action from the Pokemon World Championships after a break.
After a break, and let's shiny hunt then. Okay, chat. I'm paying attention to chat again. What did you think of this match? You VGC experts that know much more than me. What are we having a Wolf champion? Like, is the world champ diff coming back? I watched this video already. It's a cute video, but yeah, I'm gonna shiny hunt. Speaking of which, where is my switch? Oh yeah. Okay, let's go get a shaymin. That's not where shaymin is. He's a good speaker, but I love how he easily forgets that when he gets into detailing the nitty-gritties. I think it's funny too. I think we are very used to seeing Wolf speaking with a script, and that's the same for me. Like, I was recording a video for the Girly Pop Cup earlier today, and I was doing it without a script. All of my videos are scripted, and like, I'm reading out of a teleprompter because I like to write. When I'm improvising, I don't sound as smart as when I am, like, right now, I don't sound as smart as I sound in my videos. So, it is kind of a difference between seeing Wolfie talking, like, in a very well written 2-hour video and just giving an interview after a game. He bodied his opponent. He's bodying the entire competition. It's real. He's actually playing insane. Lol. Yes, it might actually be coming home. Just got bad. Did he drop a game? He won 2-0. He did not. Okay, so now let's do the shiny decks. I need your expertise here for a very important topic of discussion. Do we prefer long hair Wolfie or short hair Wolfie? Robbie, you're also invited to weigh in into this discussion. Everybody's invited actually, but I think Shiny might have a very specific opinion on this. In all honesty, whether Wolf wins or not, I am happy for him. He seems to be having a good time. I think the important thing is, like, he brought a great team and he's winning with it. So he's looking confident, which is nice. Longer hair Wolfie, okay. There is a vibe to long hair Wolfie. Like, I think I don't dig the bun that much, but with the hair, like, what's the opposite of having the hair in a bun? Like, just flowing? I think there's a vibe to it. Long hair's Wolf is iconic. I'm short, I think. I do not like guys with long hair. All the above. All the above is the correct answer. Long usually depends on my current mood, actually. Raul. Okay. I like this hair. I think that's like the like short but messy. It's what I would vote for if I had any say on Wolf's hairstyle. Long hair Wolf looks like he openly supports Incineroar. Yes. I think after winning Incineroar, he'll retire and disappear in the Himalayas with only a 3DS or something. I don't know. I think he would. I think it might be like the Pachirisu situation. I think he's gonna change his relationship with Incineroar, and it's very iconic at this point. Like, if you go to his videos and people are joking about Incineroar all the time, so that's kind of, it's a thing that makes you bond with a Pokemon, right? After you become so attached to it, I think he's gonna end up liking Incineroar. Mostly if Incineroar wins him the championship.
I really like Emboar. He's one of my favorites, so I feel like I have to kind of represent my boy. My goal every season is to win Worlds. Just plain and simple. It's a lofty goal. It's one that I've achieved before. It's also one that I failed much more than I've achieved. And barring that, I would love to see one of my friends win the World Championship.
And barring that, we would love to see a Brazilian winning the World Champion. So, how's Victor's match? Do we know? Oh, look, I I was having brunch this morning, and there were like 2 kids in the desk right next to me playing with like some Charizard dolls and some TCG cards, and it was so cute. I wish I had some cards to give to them. Like, I think seeing kids with Pokemon shirts just melts my heart.
And what is it like to compete in a Pokemon championship?
Well, kind of stressed.
He's the junior champion. Okay, I did not know that.
How do you feel about competing this year?
Pretty fun.
Are you gonna win, do you think?
I hope so.
Hope so.
What are your favorite things to shop for? Plushies.
I mostly like the big one.
It's my childhood dream to have a huge Snorlax plush. Hopefully I'll attain that sometime. Victor won! Yes! Yay for Brazil! Go Brazil!
You before actually at a Pokemon Center. I've met your family before. What's your favorite part about traveling to compete with all of these Pokemon events?
It's really fun.
He loves using Incineroar because he loves winning. Yes. He just wishes it didn't exist. Completely forgot to lunch and it's 5 p.m. here already. See ya. Okay, have a nice lunch. Come back. We're gonna be here for a while. I actually need to eat too. I'm gonna need to order takeout. I'm sorry. I did not have dinner. What should I have, chat?
Definitely big plushies.
What's the number one thing?
Shh. Are we gonna crash? Don't crash. This is taking way too long. I'm gonna crash, right? That's what I get for opening my phone. Chat, are we here? Are you there? Stay with me, chat. Stay with me, chat.
I like to look at ant plushies. I couldn't find a giant plushie, but I found something.
Chat,
really
are we
big
still
for you.
here? No, I'm gonna stop touching my phone.
Are you ready?
Okay, but we're
This
here.
Pokemon can turn into
fine.
any Pokemon. What do you think? Right, there you go. That's for you.
We're fine, we're fine. I'm gonna order food through my computer. I'm not gonna touch my telephone.
Okay. Yeah, it's big, right? What do you think?
I think it's amazing.
All right, well, you're taking it home, buddy.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I love that. Is that a... Oh, that's for the pool.
Watch it, 10.
That's so cute.
10.
One day I'm gonna be rich and walk into the Pokemon Center and leave with a bunch of stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna order takeout. I think I'm changing my mind. I'm just gonna... I don't know, I feel like I should eat, but I ate, but I did not eat a lot. I'm a little bit hungry though, but it's late already. Like, do I have something to eat? I have some... I can make a grilled cheese after this stream. I think I'm fine.
Once it's on the plane,
Okay, let's shiny hunt. The next round is in 5 minutes, chat. Who are we watching? Do we know who's gonna be on stream?
To kick off our 2024 Pokemon North America International Championship.
You ate. Did I? Did I? I really wish I did. You know what would be cool now? A shiny Shaymin. That would be super cool. I'm gonna increase this fan. I'm sorry if it's too noisy. I think it's fine.
10 seconds on the clock. There's nothing there.
We ate. Wolf Glick ate.
They're out of this thing. Orange juicers become your North.
So today I had a very big brunch. So I had some very fancy croissant. I saw TikTok about croissant today. And I had a very good focaccia too. Then I had a nice Brazilian lunch later in the afternoon, and I just had a protein bar. But we don't have pairings yet, I think, but anytime soon. Yeah, I think we're gonna know in 3 minutes or so. It would be nice to watch Victor. Queso. Quesadilla. Grilled queso. How do you say grilled cheese in Spanish? Like in Portuguese we say queijo quente, which is just like hot cheese, which I think it's cute. Queso, a protein bar, skinny. But it's like that protein bar that is like, tastes like chocolate and it's very fluffy. and probably has a shit ton of sugar in it. I think it's cute seeing kids play. I like that. The junior division is something. Among Us on stream! Everybody, Among Us on stream! Trans rights! Can I have trans rights in the chat for Among Us? Okay, so let's do that. Every time Among Us appears on stream, we need to trans rights in the chat. You would call it quesadilla, no? Like, because, you know, quesadilla is with tortilla, but the grilled cheese is with bread, so it's like a bread quesadilla? I don't know. Tosta de queijo, yes. So I was with the controller, I was pressing to run away, and then I looked at the screen, and it was like the move selection screen, and I was like, okay, should I... My brain for like half a second was like, should I attack the Calyrex, or I don't know what was the other Pokemon? I thought I was playing the VGC match instead of what I'm actually playing, which is this Shiny Hunt over here. He looks like he's gonna be such a nerd when he grows up. You know what I really wish I had? A shiny charm in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I would be so happy if I had a shiny charm. I have a whole video essay I need to edit and I feel so unmotivated. And it's Saturday, right? How big is the video essay? Is it like a 15-minute video essay, or is it like a silly 40-minute long video essay? Is it your video essay, or are you freelancing? I love Red Coco. I love Sprigatito. I don't love Quaxley, but he's a friend. So, if you don't get the trans right Among Us thing, I can explain it to you very quickly. Or, you can click on my profile and you can watch me explain to you with like images and graphics and a lot of details in a video called How Wolf Lick Transformed This Pokemon into a Trans Icon. It is a very fun watch. And add it to your watch list and watch later. But basically, Wolfie defeated a transphobe using Among Us. And it's a very cool match if you want to watch. And it's my most popular video on the channel, so go check it out.
I like that we made it a thing, deep dive at the beach maps. I was a little skeptical at first, honestly, but trusted.
Your video made my video longer? Which video? What are we talking about? I want spoilers. BDSP Shiny Charm is just decoration. Exactly. I think it only works for eggs, right? Or it's eggs, right?
World Championships, because this is actually our first opportunity to reveal the usage.
I don't think Quaxley is queer coded. I know, like Quaquaval is queer coded for sure, but I don't think Quaxley is that much. It's just a duck, like a vein duck, but it's a duck.
At the World Championships, and while I will say that
it is a fun watch, and Wolf and Neo commented on it, so just putting it out there.
Honestly, a little bit surprising.
I agree. We've had a lot of Regulation G events throughout the world, Gabby, and most of them, everybody talks about the Incineroar, Rillaboom, or Shifu core. It usually...
Okay, we have Among Us on screen now, but we are only doing the trans rights things when we see Among Us on a match. Actually, chat, you're in front of Among Us, what are you doing? You're gonna stay there, because for the next match, you need to be there? Yeah, it's crazy, like, Masuda... And I mean, it's so easy to shiny hunt outside of BDSP, why am I going to go to... Which Pokemon specifically do I need to Masuda method in BDSP to get? Your queer VGC player's Wild Child 4 video inspired me to talk about the creators I mentioned. Oh, that's nice!
been
I mean,
usage percentages
I understand.
much
Like,
higher than
don't
where it
compare
is currently,
yourself
and
to other people for starters.
I find that
But I mean, it's
it
not
does make
that
sense when you look at its matchup, of
detailed,
course,
I would
into
say.
Urshifu
Like,
Rapid Strike with the
I did some
surging
very
strikes,
quick
3
interviews with
critical
these
hits,
people.
doesn't
Honestly,
have
I
to
asked
worry
them a
about
couple of
intimidating.
questions
That's no
and
surprise
told a
there,
few nice
but
stories, but I would
usually
love to
for
talk
the
more. I think
earlier
there's always an
games, I mean,
opportunity
certainly
for a
for
nice story.
NAIC,
For example,
we saw
Montana's
Incineroar,
story
Rillaboom,
about
Urshifu, just,
the
1, 2,
cute
3 in
tweet
some
being
particular
shown
order.
on stream.
Incineroar's
That was
really
a
solid.
great story by itself, so that's easy to do. But some other players had some very little battles on stream, so it is. I think it's only fair to give them all a very similar highlight, some similar screen time. So that's basically it. So some players are a little bit easier to tell stories about, but for some players you really need to talk to them and get to know them and hear they're telling you so you can tell back to an audience. So yeah, I think it's always nice to find that story, but don't compare yourself. It's nice that my view inspired you to go a little bit further, but stop comparing. Yaskara and Kokofao are T4T. I know it. My uncle works at Nintendo. This is my favorite message in the chat for this entire stream so far. By the way, Victor Vieira is still in. He won. Yes. Thank you for keeping us up to date. But yes, Brazil's winning. We still have Brazil in Worlds. I'll make sure to watch the vid then. The Pokemon I feel gives non-binary energy is Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is like agender envy. Like literally, oh, I can't show you because my Switch is here right now. But my shiny Iron Valiant is literally nicknamed Daydam. Wolf Blick is the only undefeated player left right now, which is fire. It's insane. Also, I'm very happy to see such high usage for Whimsicott. Like, it is crazy that we have Whimsicott as a Tailwind setter and not Tornadoes, right? Tornadoes. I always mix up Tornadoes and Thunderers. But yes, it's Tornadoes. It's crazy we have Whimsicott but don't have Tornadoes. Like, because like I like using Whimsicott with like Encore and U-turn, but I just have the impression that Tornadoes does it better. Being from the USA, I gotta go with Wolfie to win it. Wolfie is freedom, liberty, and the American way. It's funny that Amungu is a trans icon and it's Ball Guy's partner who is non-binary. Yes.
I feel more secure that Fluttermane's back on the graphic.
I'm happy to see Yuta Ishigaki, the only person to make day 2 with Iron Valiant, still be in. We have non-binary representation on day 2 still.
I'm very curious if there was anything you were expecting to see here in the top 12 that maybe didn't quite make the cut.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really kicking myself for not choosing Iron Hands over Chien Pao on my predictions. Maybe a low kick, because we now see
I thought they were gonna
the Swords Dance low kick variant of Iron Hands taking over the metagame here in Honolulu, and I was really between.
I thought he was gonna say Tornadoes, and I was gonna say that I would have been great VGC commentator.
Went away for a lot of the last regulation, and people didn't think it's that strong. But understanding that even if you pair it with Miraidon, it's not the end of the world to have 2 electric types on your team, because there are not too many ground attackers prevalent in the format. Of course, you have both forms versus Luna, maybe a Groudon here and there, but most of the ground attacks are actually coming from non-same type attack bonus hits, and with the electric seed.
It's the first time that I heard somebody saying stab out loud.
Less damage from those. So my surprise is Chien Pao not being on the list, because I do really like the synergy with those top 3 physical attackers on Incineroar, Rillaboom, and Urshifu. I thought Chien Pao might have made top 12.
Yeah, I was also expecting to see Grimmsnarl up here, honestly. Like, we spent a lot of time talking about it.
Have I heard news about trans rights in Japan? Not really. That definitely did not reach me. Did something happen? I know Japan is not like the most like legislatively speaking, not the most queer friendly place, I guess. But I don't know anything about gender, honestly. Hey Carl, welcome.
Non-restricted Pokemon. I know that everybody out there is probably curious which Pokemon is going to reign supreme on our restricted picks, and
Ooh.
Top two being the Calyrexes once again.
Horses.
I did some work
Sorry,
on them yesterday.
my
Calyrex
Shaymin is on
Shadowrider
top. We
was
have
one of
Miraidon,
the
Zamazenta, then Terrapagus, Kyogre, Koraidon, and Groudon. I didn't see a lot of Groudon matches this season, honestly.
Zamazenta jumping up into 4th place. That's a really nice jump for it to have made.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Zamazenta
What the horses, right?
fourth most commonly used.
There's no running away from the horses.
And that is always the important stuff to know between the
I recently found your content and I've been watched every video. Lol. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. Thank you. Thank you. I have a cool video on the oven. It's halfway ready. I just need to record the second part. But I want to do something fancy, like I want to go to an actual location for first time. So it's being hard to find a suitable place. So maybe in a couple of weeks I'll have a very fancy and well researched and probably the best thing I ever wrote video essay coming your way about trans stuff. So it's gonna be nice. And it is so cool, like, let's talk about Zamazenta here for a second, because, like, on Sword and Shield, I think Zacian was, like, the Pokemon, right? It was the unrivaled choice, and now, and Zamazenta was basically not used, and now, how the tables have turned, right? I'm quite sure lots of people have incredible essays on why this was a thing. I haven't watched any of those. But I just think it's funny.
Favorable matchup into Calyrex Shadow Rider with the rest of your team. If you can handle the Calyrex Ice Riders, it does feel like a very safe play for Worlds because you're essentially giving yourself an edge over what you think will be the majority of the field.
I don't know. I'm quite sure there are a lot of very VGC savvy people online explaining why Zamazenta is better. I just don't know. Shield bash be upon me. They're probably gonna allow trans people to be recognized even if married. Ah, small step, but it's still a step forward. That's nice. That's cool. Oh, I'm happy. I know very little about the trans community in Japan, honestly, but I know that you are not allowed to have, like, gay marriage is not allowed in Japan, so that's all I know. Okay, so body press, just put Zamazenta in the top 4. That's basically Come on, Shaymin, why don't you shine? Let's shine.
I think most people did expect Miraidon and Calyrex Shadow Rider to be the two Pokemon to prepare for the most.
Oh, Zacian got a nerf. Okay, that's also important.
We'll have to see. I know Hirofumi was running Ice Rider and is currently X and 1. I think there were a couple other Ice Rider players who were X and 1. Unfortunately,
I think I don't know. Looking at this top 8 list for too long is a little bit. I wish they had some B-roll or some other matches they could show instead of just having us look at a table for 10 minutes. I don't know, I think that's what they do in Sports Channel. I'm just thinking out loud that this is not the most engaging thing to be looking at. That's why I'm looking at my Shaymin.
You have some sleep powder, or some, I should say some sun abuse usually attached to the Groudon and teams there, but usually Clear Amulet is the health item of choice since Incineroar is...
I did play Shield though, so I had a Zamazenta. I have a Zamazenta from that playthrough.
This is kind of a coming-of-age story for Groudon in the history of VGC because it is used to being the Pokemon that just runs through the battlefield and destroys everything, hits hard, as long as it hits Precipice Blades, of course. But now Groudon
or the venue, yeah, or show fun stuff happening around. I think, like, this is a feedback for the Pokemon company that is not watching this video. I think it would be fun to, like, have reporters around showing, like, I don't know, the influencers there having fun, or like the Pokemon Center, or like, oh, here is like interviewing random, like they did that, like with the champions of the juniors, but I think they could do so much more. Like there's a lot of opportunity to do a very cool event coverage.
All 2016 vibes, yeah, and it's cool to see players.
Groundon right now, I will get you, ugly fish. I love the memes about Groundon and Kyogre fighting. It's a vibe. We need a Lunala. Lunala is probably one of my favorite box legendaries of all time. Close there with Lugia, because I'm a Gen 2 girly.
it just goes to show you that even though there's 8 very powerful restricted Pokemon,
White Guard has almost never been better. Yes, I was playing a little bit on ladder today, and the usage of White Guard killed me a lot because I was using a lot of Blizzard. And yeah, White Guard is annoying.
Familiarity points. This is something that Scott and I talked about yesterday, Gabby, about the importance of legacy skill in VGC in particular.
That being said, I want to praise BDSP for the fact that I can just run away and come back, and I don't really have to soft reset for this shiny. I think it is a very good thing to do. Shiny Lunala goes hard. I wish maybe I could shiny hunt it at some point. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I could do some Dynamax adventures in the future. The thing is, on my profile that I have Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, I already beat the game and I did not really want to start a new save file over my old one. But I have a secondary account in which I just do shiny hunts for Dynamax adventures, but I don't really have Nintendo Online for that one.
Coming into this World Championships is like past picks that have really defined.
Wolf will play Marco Silva from Italy, yes. What are your odds? My shiny odds, you mean? It's 1 out of 4,000. No, it's 4. The shiny charm does not work in BDSP, so this is full odds. Full odds. Whatever you call full odds. Lunala is shiny lock? No, but Lunala is not shiny locked in Dynamax.
Aspect. We haven't had this at the World Championship. I think the biggest thing to me in 2019, if you want to
look at sorry.
Flashback thing.
Look at this Rowlet. Like, I love Rowlet so much. Like, can we just appreciate it for a second? Just look at this little boy.
Pokemon that are changing. Obviously, Primal Groudon was the bee's knees.
Rowlet gang. Its eyes are so vacant. And then we cut to Lord Helix. Like, this is perfection. Rowlet and Lord Helix. I love this frame. It is amazing. Am I wild for doing one in 4K? Maybe. But it's nice, like shiny hunting in the system itself, and I only have one switch, so I cannot like multi-hunt or anything. But yeah, that's just gonna make me shout louder when the shiny appears, and I'm gonna have better content to share on Twitter. So yeah, I don't think we're getting the shiny today. That being said, if we get the shiny during a match, we are going to name it the cooler player of the match we're watching. Or the winner. Rowlet plushie representation? Yes, we have strong... Wait.
Terra Fairy, Patrice, or Terra Normal, Fluttermane. We even saw that, I know Ashley Cox was running Terra Fairy Snorlax.
We have Rowlet plushie representation on this stream, okay? Can you stay here, Rowlet? Of course you can't. You're gonna fall down. How long do you think I can stream like this?
Well, history was made in 2019, and we'll be making some
Okay, this is amazing. I love my life. We have Lord Helix and Rowlet.
You're not gonna want to miss watching all the incredible action where we title our champion for Pokemon Go, our world champions for
silly.
the TCG, and of course our champions for the
I'm
video
so
game
silly.
as well. So
Wolf, the shiny shaymin. I wouldn't name it Wolf.
So you get notifications when we go live, all that good stuff. But we're going to take a break here now as we get ready for our next round of Swiss here at the 2024 World Championships. Don't go anywhere.
Do you have any other streamer right now streaming this championship with a Rowlet asleep on their head? I don't think so. This is content you only see at the Sicily YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and share it to your friends. This is the best way to watch Pokemon World Championships 2024. Please tag Pokemon so they invite me as an influencer next year. I really want to go. This is a very cool and fun event and I want to go next year. And I don't want to have to win 4 regionals in order to get there. So just invite me. I'm a fun YouTuber, Nintendo. I talk about some politics sometimes, and I know you guys don't vibe that much with that. But I swear, I'm nice. Please invite me. I swear I won't talk about any war. I swear. I won't talk about capitalism. I swear. I'm only gonna talk about how cool Pokemon is. Look, I have a Rowlet asleep on my head. Have you beaten a run of Pokemon Emerald Rogue 2.0? I have not. I think the furthest away I got. But I'm silly. Like, I was trying to do a shiny only run. That's kind of... And then my shiny starts dying and I just lose the game. But basically... I wanna do some streams of Emerald Rogue, but I wanna finish my Lumi first. That being said, I think the furthest away I ever got in Emerald Rogue 2.0 was the 4th gym, or 5th gym, probably. I did not get super far, but my town is looking nice. I bought a bunch of stuff, and I have a nice secret base. Shout out to Pokabi for doing such an incredible ROM hack. I am obsessed with it, it looks amazing, and it still shocks me, like, how much content she was able to put in there. It is God's work. Pokemon Company, you should hire Pokabi. She's incredible. She's talented. She is a great game designer, and she literally puts overworld encounters in a Gen 3 game. She's amazing. Hirofumi is still in the game. Yes, there's still a chance. Shiny only is a quest in the game. I have beaten a run. It's very hard. That ROM hack is 11/10. It's so good. It is. I am shocked that the Rowlet is still in my head. I have such great posture. Like, can somebody send this to... Can somebody send this to Downstone and tell her, like, this is how you do posture in a live stream? Like, can we talk about how Rowlet is the best starter from Alola? Wait, I'm still zooming in, right? This is a bit silly, I can zoom out. We can watch some ads together for Pokemon, because Pokemon is such a nice company. I hope they invite me next year. I love the Pokemon brand and the Pokemon Company. Netflix. There is a Pokemon thing on Netflix, right? I'm not into TCG, but I think this kind of series are so fun. I hope they do something for VGC like that too. Like, honestly, this is content. This is incredible. Girl, don't come for Miss Polpio now. I'm not coming for anybody. You sure? Alola got the best start. I love the starter tree on Alola. I literally used the 3 of them for my playthrough. Like Litten, Polpio, and Rowlet. They're so great. I did start with Rowlet, but I just traded in Litten and Polpio for the rest of my game. I don't like Incineroar that much, but I love Torracat. Like, I finished the game with, like, a Violite Torracat, which was fun, too.
I love you, but it's time to attack, and I'm gonna hit you with your max pedal.
Alright.
I think I'm destroying you!
You're not on the path anymore. You've reached the peak.
You've reached the peak.
Hit the road with us as we embark on an epic road trip through the world of the Pokemon trading card game.
This has a Queer Eye vibe to me somehow, like the van or something.
Let's do this.
I don't know. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, BDSP, can you please give me a shiny Shaymin? I would be so happy.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning, it's
wherever you are in
10.
the world, we are so excited
It's
to
literally
have you here watching the
10:25. Why are you making me stream this late? I did nothing all afternoon.
My name is Rosemary.
Why are time zones a thing? I hate them.
We are here to take you through the next round.
Sprigatito is perfect. I
How are
love
you doing
her.
today?
I am so good. I'm still basking in the afterglow after that amazing opening game here in day 2. Wolflick showing exactly.
Oh, I love Rosemary. She's such vibes. I love how Hayley Williams her hair is. Like, it's always... Is it always pink, though? I feel like she's always using different colors.
Say that you are at a position where you've made it into
And, like,
the
that
top
bow
position,
dress
let
is
alone
such a
maybe
vibe. I love
undefeated in
it.
the
It's
process
so
of
pink.
dunking
It's
a
girly
single game.
popness
And that's the thing,
at
we're in day
its
2 as well. So
fullest.
it's been a bit of a cruel summer for some of the players here who've been been knocked out in day 1.
Okay,
But
she's
now we
making
still
Taylor
have
Swift
some trainers
jokes.
in
She just made a
contention,
cruel
and
summer
let's
joke.
zoom in on how the rankings are shaping up at this point in the competition.
I did watch, I was listening to a VGC podcast about people trying to sneak into these references in the streams, right? I think she does this Taylor Swift thing, in which she like challenges herself to say Taylor Swift titles.
They're able to win this next round and get that 9-1 record, then they have also locked in a spot to play in that top cut. So that would be very, very exciting. A lot of other familiar faces. When we take a look at those 8-1 records,
Is familiar faces
Escalante,
Taylor Swift
that's
song?
one of your favorite players, Lou.
I think he knows he's one of my favorites at this point.
It's 4:30 a.m. for you. Okay, that is dedication. Are you in Japan? No, wait. You should be in Australia, right?
For the reigning world champion still at that X1. I believe their only loss was the one that was showcased on the broadcast yesterday and has remained on a fantastic streak ever since.
Or Southeast Asia,
As well,
maybe?
the LAIC reigning international champion, as well as Justin Knox, Navjit Joshi, and Yuta Ishigaki.
Yeah, very exciting to see them here. I like Justin Knox in particular has been a player that is so impressive over the course of the season. Didn't need very many events to qualify
Hong Kong,
for the World
okay,
Championships,
cool.
and then kind of took a step back. And now is here doing so well at this year's World Championships. I'm so excited to see all the other players that we have here. Japan, totally still at the top of the tables for a lot of these trainers, and we get a chance to look forward at some of those other 7-2 records. They're still not out of it just yet. They can win out and still.
Yeah, we're in the same time zone with
We only have 2
Sundrex.
more Swiss rounds to go. That's why we are going to be looking forward to our next round. Here's some of the matchups. We are going to be
Delete time
following
zones. Make it so it's always
versus
done.
Diego
Yes, it's
Ferreira
like when you hack.
and
When you
Wolfglick
don't hack,
versus
but you
Marco
just.
Silva. Oh my
Okay, we're
goodness,
watching
we
Antonio
have a
Sanchez
great
versus
match
Diego
for
Ferreira.
both
Which
on that
who
last
are we
round.
rooting for? I like
This is
Antonio.
also
I think
great.
I've seen a match of him yesterday.
And I wish we could have
Right?
the
Did I?
time
I think I
and
did.
hours to be able to bring you every match, but also the players don't want to wait around.
Oh, it's a
one by
dress.
one.
It's
They all
perfect. I
wanna play
think
and
it
bring
should be a
that
dress because it's a
adrenaline
huge
and
bow.
atmosphere
Like
to
it
the
needs to be a
stage.
dress.
And
Ah,
Antonio
Roland, I'm
Sanchez, a
sorry.
player that I've been
I'm
able to
sorry,
watch blossom
baby boy.
throughout
I'm
this
sorry. I'm not gonna
entire
drop you.
season.
I'm gonna just leave you here. I'm gonna stop being
Actually
funny.
won the Liverpool regionals as well this season, as well as getting fantastic.
How long did that stay?
Very
It's probably
recently in this
over 5 minutes,
regulation,
right?
so has some really good experience with this, and most notably, of course, the final event before Worlds
Wolf
was
is still
NAIC,
win.
and
Wolf
got
is
top
still
eight.
undefeated. Wolf is playing against Italian Marco Silva now. And yeah, Wolf is doing amazingly.
Diego Ferreira, though, still looking for that big, big win. Did get top 4 at the Melbourne Regional Championships in Australia, but also got that top 32 at the European International Championships this year. And that is so great to see. At the international stage has also proven himself and can hopefully continue to do that.
Will I ever get to
I feel like both of
shaymin?
these players have demonstrated
I would love to have a live reaction of a full out shiny, which is something that I don't have, never had in my entire life. I think it's something that I just need to have for my content creator portfolio. Like, this is how I react when I get a full out legendary shiny. Because I mean, I have some full odds legendaries, but I was multi-systeming them, so it doesn't really count.
Before we do that, though, let's preview the restricted that we're actually going to see in this matchup for Antonio Sanchez.
Let's preview, Rosemary.
And for Diego, we do have an Ice Rider Calyrex as well, but very different.
I don't know. It should. I think it's a top. I don't know. Like, it doesn't really matter if it's a top or if it's a dress. It's giving me dress vibes, but I can see a top too with the black straps in the back.
For Bologna, the top 8 at the North American International Championships, he did use a Terrapagos and Screamtail team at both of those events. But it's not Terrapagos this time around.
No, shaking things up a little bit. And Terrapagos, I think, kind of fell off the meta a little bit before approaching Worlds.
I think Terrapagos is cute. It's a nice. I like its design. I like turtles. 9 minutes with the rowlet on my head. This is good posture. Thanks for counting, Zinkali. Zinkali, yes.
What I like about Calyrex Ice Rider, you've already mentioned these are a little bit different, and obviously we'll be able to talk about that in a bit more time. But one thing
Aren't you in the USA, Cecily? How can be 10 p.m. for there too? My time zone is Central European time zone. I'm not in the USA.
Super offensive pressure, but like there's no speed investment here. And now what we're actually seeing is this kind of hybrid model where it can function well outside of Trick.
I'm not gonna dox where I am, but I can dox my time zone because you can see what time it is. So
Absolutely, and you just rely on Ice Rider Calyrex's natural bulk that it has to know that you're able to stay on the field for a long time and dish out those very devastating glacial lances. All of the damage adds up over time. We've seen even just in some of our matches on stream yesterday how you can get like a couple of glacial lances down. You don't even necessarily need to lead the Ice Rider Calyrex. Maybe you wait for some of the Pokemon up in the front to actually start to soften up some of those targets, and then you bring that Ice Rider Calyrex in the back to really be your anchor, clean that up, and get you those game wins.
They are so
We'll
smart.
have to see how both of these
I know
tuners
nothing
have
about. Like, should I open with an Ice Rider Calyrex or not? I don't know. I'm choosing the Pokemon based on vibes. Like, okay, I look at the other person's team, I'm like, okay, this looks like the strongest Pokemon on their team, they are probably opening with it, let me counter it. That's the only thing I think about. Honestly, I have absolutely no strategy when choosing which 4 Pokemon to bring into a battle. Also, the US is huge, there are like 9 time zones, technically, because Hawaii is the time zone of the US, but it's crazy, like it's morning there and I'm already sleepy. I need more mate. I'm chugging in caffeine here.
You can believe in that restricted Pokemon. It's reliable, it is your trusty steed.
It's your trusty steed.
Multi-target.
Is that a Taylor Swift song? No, probably not, right?
Attack as your signature move.
I know what you're doing. I'm picking up your references.
And that's why you can really rely on it to be able to get that down. Unfortunately, not the same to be said about some of the other Pokemon that we saw on that usage graphic for the single restricted. I've been a Groudon fan since day number 1.
You have, and I do believe, Rosemary, you've told me before that you...
I'm not a Groudon fan. Chat. I mean, I did play Ruby when I was a kid, but I'm a Rayquaza fan. I'm not a Groudon fan or a Kyogre fan. I am a Rayquaza enjoyer. I am a Latias fan. Like, Latias is the objectively best legendary Pokemon of Hoenn. I also love Deoxys. Deoxys is... I would love, like... My dream would be to do the shiny Deoxys hunt on Gen 3. I think it would be so cool to get that. But I love Deoxys, I love Latias, and I like Rayquaza. That's my opinion. I don't vibe with the Regis that much. Who else? That's my opinion on Gen 3 legendaries.
You're able to kind of consistently lay down that damage that it
but Groudon is a big boy. It is a big boy. It's not that big though. It's in the anime it's bigger, but in the game it's kind of a it's a
low health targets.
Big.
It's
big. It's not massive as it should be. Deoxys is so cool. Deoxys is cool. It's like Mewtwo from space.
I mean, you do see a lot of trainers as well when they're clicking that press this blades button, like crossing
Wait,
their
chat.
fingers,
Wait, chat. I need to pause this.
And then it misses, and it's like, it's such a...
So let's talk about the United States of America for a second here. I want to appreciate the fashion of this guy here in the back. I'm sorry if I'm bullying the country of a lot of people on the stream, but it's just it's the fashion choice. It's not about American values or anything. Did you see the Zeagle? Like, the dude just showed up at the Pokemon Championship with a bald eagle with the American flag on it. And it is such a vibe. Can I? I can. I love you, YouTube. Let's just look at his shirt for a bit. Like, isn't this art? Like, the American corners of it all. Like... And he's on stream. It is beautiful. It is fashion. It is... And the backward cap, it's giving me Ash Ketchum. Gotta love the US of A. I wish Deoxys was legal too. I think it would be a very fun Pokemon to be watching in matches.
Needed to hit that press with blades, and that can be the heartbreak that comes through with a Pokemon like Groudon. But as you said, when it connects, it can be beautiful. Really can.
I'm sorry for bullying a random man, but it's not my kind of content, I swear. But I needed to mention this, otherwise I wouldn't be able to sleep. Fashion is about expressing yourself. Dress what makes you wear what makes you comfortable. If you're comfortable in a bald eagle, American flag shirt, you go. I'm sorry.
for such a staple out there.
Absolutely.
But Kyogre, one of the things
I've seen it in Smogon's doubles format, and it's basically a psychic terrain abuser. Yes. Like, I think they should allow mythicals at some point, just for the... It's like when people say, oh, they should just allow doping at the Olympics once, just so people can go crazy. I feel the same for mythicals, like, just allow everything and see what happens. I think it would be fun, just for a season or whatever.
When you look at Pokemon like Calyrex Shadow Rider, also a special attacker that can deal out a formidable amount of damage, but maybe a little more frail. I think having that kind of nice balance of offensive and defensive capabilities allows Kyogre to have a moment.
Magearna was insane. Okay, I think I was not paying attention. That was probably during COVID, right? I got a little bit. Okay, next match. Let's go.
But you know what? A girl can dream. Let's jump into our Swiss round number 10 matchup between Antonio Sanchez and Diego Ferreira. You can see the Ice Rider Calyrex on both sides, but for Antonio Sanchez, really leaning into...
Okay, I like the Turco. Okay, I like Diego's team better. I think it's more fun, so that's why I'm going for Diego. We stand Turco, we like Ndidi, and Gallade is just amazing. So that's why my heart is going for you, Diego. You are my choice for this, for... Who are you rooting for, chat?
Amazing. And this is something we haven't had the pleasure to see in daylight yet in this World Championships, is this hard trickery mode. Because a lot of
Hard
times
trick
there's a lot
mode.
of maybe a more speedier option. But let's dive a little deeper into Antonio Sanchez's team first of all. We've already got that Calyrex Ice Rider, the cornerstone Ogerpon, a Pokemon that I was a little bit, surprised to see doing so well. One that you've had as a favorite from day one, but
I mean, but wait, let me get this. They are both Trick Room teams? Like, if both teams are Trick Room, then none-teams are Trick Room, right? I'm rooting for Farigiraf. I think that's also... it's rooting for Johto, right? It's always a good choice. Trick Room Sunny Day, like Turco on the sun, under Trick Room is insane.
Able to also have Trick Room, maybe try and reverse that a little bit for Antonio, or at least can benefit from being in it. Going for something like a Hyper Voice, it's got that throat spray to be able to boost up its special attack as well on that move.
I love that there is an opportunity to bring in the Farigiraf. I think it also has an opportunity...
It's crazy how empty the chairs are, right? Did you also notice that? Is it because it's early in the morning? Because when Wolfie was playing, I think it was like completely, like there were a few people, but I just assumed more people would be watching and not at the beach. I don't know.
Because it is such a hard Trick Room mode, you actually have Trick Room on 3 different Pokemon. The Gallade, the Ndidi female, and the Ice Rider Calyrex. So what do you actually think could be setting up the Trick Room? You've got to make those calls.
Ndidi, female,
Trick Room is going to go up in
gender, we love
Diego,
it.
like you said, has it on 3 different Pokemon. It's going to be a try and tested combination. But if you're
I like the Guts Ursaluna. I think it is... it's more fun than Blood Moon Ursaluna. And I think Guts is a great ability, and whenever people are using it, I'm happy. Chat, can we please stop crushing at the players, please? This is a family-friendly space. Southwest Turco is... It is, definitely. They don't let it get chaos at Worlds, they don't let a lot of people watch because it gets chaotic. The big tournament truly is the internet. Okay, so we are the... Okay, it started. Let me stop this shiny hunt for a second. Let's pay attention, shall we, chat?
Like this Ogerpon Wellspring that it's going to be next to use something with redirection like Follow Me. That's available here as well.
Offensive Assault Vest Turco is the most beautiful thing ever. You heard it here first in the chat. Wolfie demolished, not demolished, Wolfie won undefeated. Wolfie went very well.
Using that boost energy to get that boost in play. It also has the formidable
Wolfie
pressure
played
of both that
amazingly,
Terra
and
Electric
you
Antonio
can...
hesitating over that.
It's at the beginning of this
As much
stream, you
damage as
can
possible
go
with
back
these
there if you
electric
want.
The Ogerpon, as you said here, Rosemary, can be very disruptive with that Follow Me, and it's such a reasonably bulky Pokemon.
I'm not talking
as well.
about you,
Just like
Shiny.
Pokemon like the Ogerpon with some damage with the Ivy Cudgel, you want to try and eliminate it from play. I do not think Antonio has the utility to stop Trick Room at this point.
Okay, after... I don't know how many matches, I just noticed that the player characters never change, and I was like, wow, Wolfie player character looks funny, and I just realized that they don't really bring their Nintendo Switches to the competition, I guess. Also, love seeing Ogerpon against Ogerpon. This Ogerpon just killed that Ogerpon. I love Ogerpon. It's my favorite legendary.
Leaving this Ice Rider Calyrex very vulnerable to this special attack booster.
Oh my god, this was... Oh, okay, no, I thought it would be a... Okay, Diego's in a bad spot, I guess.
Some good damage down onto that restricted on the opposing side. Yes, Trick Room has gone up now. That means the speed will be in Diego's favor, but at what cost, Rosemary?
There is at least a free switch here for Diego.
I love looking at the random school kids just rooting at this World Championships match in the back.
In this Trick Room now that that's set up, and you have the Indeedee as well. Setting the Psychic Surge means that you can protect this Ice Rider Calyrex from these priority attacks such as the Thunderclap on this Raging Bolt, and you also have that additional protection in the Follow Me.
Yes, Follow Me once again providing that redirection support, enabling Calyrex to be in a position where it can go for a Glacial Lance, start getting some good damage on the board. Raging Bolt having dropped its Dragon typing, not going to worry about those too much at this point, particularly as Grimnay is not coming through.
There is a protect option on
but like, it's okay that Ogerpon is broken because we like Ogerpon and we don't like Urshifu. Like, it's fine, it's broken, we like it, so it's
Both of
fine.
these Pokemon are going to take a decent chunk of
The sturdy here is so good.
It's going to hold on for this next attack and also be able to deliver another blow. The
Draco Meteor
is going to get redirected away, and Indeedee not going to be knocked out quite yet, but this Raging Bolt, it's just been so instrumental.
Okay, Indeedee's dead.
So far for Antonio. And while this
Diego needs to turn this around quickly, otherwise it's...
That's another knockout that Antonio's taken.
2 moves and 2 KOs coming through for this corner.
This is bad for our boy Diego. But we have good Ursaluna under Trick Room.
Ursaluna coming into play. The issue that you've got to contend with though is Trick Room
She deserves to be broken. She was bullied as a
Antonio
kid.
wants to play around that.
That's why she's broken. But we fixed her back again because we're great Pokemon trainers. I love you, Ogerpon!
Easily get the 2-hit KO here. On both Raging Bolt and the Ogerpon. So that could then get you 2 Chilling Day boosts.
It could. The only problem is that as you...
My favorite mask Ogerpon, I think, is Bellspring.
Antonio does have the option to just double protect on both of these Pokemon. It's going to stall out an additional turn of Trick Room and make sure that this Ursaluna isn't going to actually have the speed advantage. It's also going to be really tough. You know, this Ursaluna has the opportunity to go for Earthquake, and so when you talk about being able to secure a double knockout, do you actually try to give the KOs over to your Ice Rider Calyrex, or just allow your Ursaluna to try to get the
what is
job
Imprison
done?
gonna
And
do
Imprison
here, though?
How interesting. Just making sure that you're going to be able to go for something here. But with the Earthquake...
Is Earthquake gonna hit?
Or the
What?
Rush, excuse me, actually just attacks.
Is it gonna
in
hit
general.
Calyrex?
Well, I really like this coming through actually. You know,
Okay.
you do get a little bit of damage onto your partner Calyrex here, but it is able to hang on. And the critical thing for Ursaluna is you've taken that 1 turn, you've been able to use the Flame Orb to now activate your Guts ability. So there is going to be so much more offensive pressure coming through from Ursaluna. The Earthquake, yes, you hit your partner Pokemon, but you might have been able to get some good damage on a switch in from the back. You know, if it was just something like the Urshifu, at least you're getting the focus slash broken.
It was a
and then
very
more vulnerable
ballsy
for
move
Antonio.
to use Earthquake. No.
Imprison, I think that's a
Yeah,
very interesting
I don't know.
move
Diego.
choice. Maybe expecting that there
Sorry,
was
Diego.
some type of Trick Room option in the back. Yeah, maybe you do have that Calyrex, but as we actually saw in the back there, no Calyrex, no Farigiraf. So very interesting adjustment here for Antonio in this very first game, relying once again on kind of a similar strategy we saw in just our previous match. This Raging Bolt can be so dominant when you're able to put on that pressure. We saw the Earthquake come through from the Ursaluna in this previous turn. One way to disrupt that, you have the grassy terrain on your side.
That's
But with the Thunderclaps,
good.
Calyrex just goes down without a fight.
So he
That's
used
one way
that
get around
Rillaboom
the
to
speed
take
team.
out the Psychic Terrain and use the priority move. These people are so clever. They're such good players.
Coming through from the Ursaluna to remove
Oh, Rillaboom's
the
dead,
Pokemon from play. So
okay.
you do manage to get a KO on Diego's side, but now on Antonio's side, you get to bring a Pokemon in from the back and start slowing things down once again. You can go for some more protects, just stall through these remaining Trick Room turns.
Oh, I lied.
But it is there, it's just
Bolt's neck
fighting.
was
Raging Bolt's neck was a little
Ogerpon
bit
has fake out, right?
Ogerpon,
No, it's Follow
one of
Me.
our favorites, is back on the field here. And again, Ogerpon in a position where it can go for some, potential redirection with the Follow Me, forcing, I suppose, the Ursaluna to go for its only spread move here in the form of the Earthquake to try and get some damage on the board.
Not too much longer here for this Ursaluna to try to get the
Trick Room is
speed turns, especially when you're going to see
SAC
double protect
Rillaboom?
from this Raging Bolt and the Ogerpon. It's going to stall out that final turn of Trick Room. Really, this Ursaluna doesn't have any other option except to try to go for the Earthquake, try to secure that double knockout. But it is going to be tough now, knowing that once this Trick Room expires, you are going to see that Ice Rider Calyrex come in.
Exactly, Ursaluna does struggle outside of Trick Room, and particularly when you've got so many Pokemon on the opposing side, it makes it very, very difficult in the kind of matchup Ursaluna. The Twisted Dimensions have now ended, so the speed is back into Ogerpon's favor. It can always just try and go here for a Power Whip just to get some damage down using that powerful Grass type attack. And Raging Bolt can kind of do its thing. Obviously, it doesn't want to go for any of these electric type moves, and Draco Meteor will be able to do some good damage.
Well, you saw the coverage there.
Yeah.
It was just to make
Diego's
sure that
dead.
you could cover for the Terra option. You don't need it though because the Power Whip is plenty to knock out this Ursaluna. And so Antonio, pretty commanding fashion there.
That was hard.
Trick Room turns. I get the win for this game, number 1.
Do you know what I really liked about Antonio's play was the fact that Calyrex Ice Rider was hidden in the back until later. It didn't just come out front and center. He kind of accepted, hey, Trick Room is going to go up, so I need to play defensively. You have your very bulky Raging Bolt on there.
He just broke the 4th wall, guys. Just looked straight into the camera with those blue eyes.
But not only that,
Crazy.
you have the Ogerpon with that sturdy ability,
Replay.
giving you that flexibility to be able to hang on after one big attack. Speaking of hanging on from attacks, Ogerpon can also deal them out. These Ivy Cudgels were ferocious. Big damage with that critical hit, and I think you needed the critical hit to be able to get the KO there.
Yeah, if not, I mean, this Ice Rider Calyrex goes into those Trick Room turns much more healthy, able to stack up those Glacial Lances, potentially even get a boost with that Chilling Neigh, and really just wreak havoc in that Trick Room environment. Unfortunately, though, this Raging Bolt able to put on a little bit too much damage with that very first Thunderbolt, and not too much longer for Diego in that first game. That is just the first game, though. Maybe the game plan can still work.
Let's see if Diego can turn it around, because I think his team is very fun, and I think it was just he lost his he lost 2 Pokemon very quickly, which was Indeedee and Ogerpon. Like Ogerpon went down 5 seconds into the game, so I think that was hard to come back from. But yeah, I really want to see the Storacol though. The Storacol in the Trick Room is it's very interesting, and I really want to see it.
On the stream, that's because it is a little bit shoved into
I won't lie, he's captivating me with those big blue eyes. We have the what's the word that I can use here to make it family friendly? We have a very lustful chat here, probably the most lustful stream of the Pokemon Championships on this internet.
Against maybe the Ice Rider Calyrex, but Galley could struggle a little bit when it comes down to, do you find yourself in front of the right targets with something like the Sacred Sword?
I mean, in the mirror, Diego has a lot of utility. We've already seen that in prison on the Calyrex to be able to try and shut down
he's sent the same, it's basically the same matchup.
The same combinations coming out front and center here. Raging Bolt and Cornerstone Ogerpon against the Wellspring Ogerpon and the Calyrex Ice Rider.
Run back, just no crit this time.
Oh, let's see what happens.
We do? I think we do. We are. I don't know. We're discussing Wolf Glick's hair. Chat was very thirsty after Diego's pick.
So maybe that is
I don't
going
know.
to be a repeat here as
I'm
Antonio
just
looks for
stating some
the
stuff.
next turn of the game.
I mean, again,
Yeah, in Prison Calyrex, I don't get it.
As well, it has the potential to deal out some good damage with an Ivy Cudgel of its own, or even the Wood Hammer, just to get some good damage onto the field. But I think the key thing is you need to be able to support this Calyrex. If it is staying in, if it can't go for Protect anyway because it's not running it, you need to provide that defensive support. The Terrestrialization, as you said, Rosemary, going down once again onto this Raging Bolt. It's both offensive and defensive to drop that Dragon typing in the face of an Ice-type Pokemon. As Ogerpon goes for the follow
Ogerpon's gonna die again. Don't do that,
That is the
Ogerpon.
question, right? Because last time
Ogerpon's gonna die again.
it doesn't crit again.
Okay. Oh, he was a crit.
Beautifully.
It was a crit the first round. No, that's great. Okay, now Ogerpon's gonna die. Ogerpon died again. No, Ogerpon.
It is for the greater good.
Poor
An opportunity
Ogerpon.
here for this Ice Rider Calyrex to set up this Trick Room and really get things going.
This is what I wanted to see.
Can I see Torkoal, Diego? I want to see Torkoal. Bring Torkoal in.
Enabling it to have that extra longevity on the field. And now the tides really have turned. You can go
Sent
with
out
these
Ursaluna
defenses,
off the
you can do a
distant
huge amount of
past.
damage and apply a lot of pressure. And you've got your Ursaluna in nice and safe. Ursaluna, once again, in a position where it could just go for that Protect and ensure a very safe Flame Orb Guts boost. Or because you know that speed is kind of in your favor and the Raging Bolt can't really go for the Thunderclap into the Ursaluna.
I
of
think
course,
Antonio
then
should
you
double
can go
protect
for
again,
something
no?
like the Headlong Rush just to be able to get some damage on the board against Raging Bolt.
I'm trying to read the person that I'm looking at the screen. Like, that's how good of a Pokemon player I am.
Access to protect. So it might be a little telegraphed here that Diego would like to get that Guts boost up and running, but even in that last game, Diego was very comfortable to try to go for an attack and just let that Guts boost come up naturally for this Ursaluna.
It makes him less readable as well, right? If you kind of think, oh, it's going to go for that protect, that's what it always does, so you're not going to target into it. Enables it just to get
It's
some damage on the board.
overpawned.
Obviously, it's not as destructive as it is when it has the Guts boost, but there is a terrestrialization.
Terra
It is a
Dragon.
Dragon type onto this opposing Calyrex. Wow, haven't seen that in a while.
We have not seen that in a while. That is one of the ways you can get around a lot of this sort of elemental damage that could be coming through. That, you know, Iceberg Calyrex, maybe not worried too much about seeing a Will-O-Wisp across the way.
Oh, the Raging Bolt is dead.
Into this Raging Bolt is a one-hit knockout. The Ursaluna is going to get the drop.
Yeah, Ro, congratulations on the overpawn joke.
From something like a close combat. I think you got the prize.
You need to calm down, Ursaluna. That is so much damage, and not even Guts boosted at this point in time. Calyrex going for the Imprison. That shows exactly
Why are we using Imprison?
fail into that slot as Ursaluna not only
What's
gets
in the
KO,
moveset
but
of
the
this
boost now thanks to that
Calyrex?
Flame Orb. A fantastic turn here for Diego. Now Antonio, this time, has indeed left the
Does
Calyrex
Imprison work for
Ice Rider
Protect?
well
Like, if you use
program.
Imprison and you have
for these
Protect,
kind of
then
iconic
your
heroes,
opponent
the
cannot
Rillaboom
attack?
and Urshifu to the field. Rillaboom can come, try and slow down the pace a little bit with something like a potential.
I don't think we are seeing the Volcano Turtle unless we go to round 3.
And Urshifu can deal obviously a huge chunk of damage with something like a close combat or a surging strikes. But this Dragon Terror is so critical. Fire, water, grass is not going to be dealing damage to this Calyrex.
So that's when you look at this Rapid Strike Urshifu and you go, oh no, this Surging Strike's maybe not necessarily the easiest thing to take out this Calyrex. You still have the close combat, which is going to pack a big punch. But when this Ursaluna is sitting there, you think about this Urshifu and you go, okay, this is really the target that I'd like to see. Both of these are going to be super effective into this Ursaluna.
So Imprison makes it so that the opponent cannot use the moves that you know. So because Calyrex knows Trick Room, using Imprison prevents the opponent from using Trick Room. But Trick Room is already up, so that's not why he used Imprison. I'm trying to figure out why he used Imprison. Ogerpon died, by the way. We are seeing a lot of fainted Ogerpons in this game. I don't like it.
But with this close combat and response, this Ursaluna
Ooh,
is also
Ursaluna.
going to get taken out of the fight. So critical survival there on that Urshifu to be able to deliver up that finishing blow. Diego is going to be down to his final 2 Pokemon, and Antonio Sanchez as well.
I think this is a nice trade though, however, because
Does Calyrex no follow me?
It's going to be a little bit more vulnerable. This is another
Yeah, we're not seeing
perfect
Turtle
Pokemon for
today,
this Calyrex
chat.
Ice Rider, and that's where you're going to shift your focus of your Diego. You can use this Calyrex to be able to start cleaning up this game. The Rillaboom's come onto the field, but the key thing is that Indeedee is here as well, can go for that redirection. Rillaboom though,
It removes it. I did not know that.
Exactly, because of the speed interactions there, Rillaboom gets a chance to set that grassy terrain a little bit later, and that means that you can still go for something like the Aqua Jet even, or that Grassy Glide, absolutely, alongside something like that Fake Out. But still, how do you get through this Ice Rider Calyrex? Grass type damage. You also have the water type damage. Now you have to rely on things that are a little bit more chunky, but can this Urshifu actually tank another hit? Can you get through these Trick Room turns?
It's not even that, it's getting through the Indeedee as well, because you can go for the Follow Me, and both the Rillaboom and the Urshifu only really have single target type attacks. So you can try all you want to get to that Calyrex, but Indeedee's going to be the barrier stopping you in this case. Calyrex going for the flinch, did get hit by the Fake Out here, as Urshifu actually just goes straight away for the close combat.
Oh, it's so tanky, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
he's going to need another one to be able to get the job done, and all the while, Antonio is actually going to be dropping
So yeah, it's
his own
basically to
defensive
protect from Trick Room.
capabilities against this Ice Rider Calyrex, and you also took a bit of chip damage from the Rocky Helmet that this Indeedee is holding, to make it a little bit easier for this Urshifu to get taken out, even though we saw the critical hit take it below half. There is Helping Hand available on this Indeedee if you just want to...
I also didn't know the Trick Room undid Trick Room. Yeah.
Exactly, because I'm not sure, even if Rillaboom and Urshifu were able to double down into that Calyrex, whether they would be able to get the job done. Urshifu going on your defensive here, as the Rillaboom does go for that priority Grassy Glide, but it's not enough to get
Indeedee, come on! Look at this girl!
doing a little bit of chip in return, but Calyrex, the lights are on you now. This is your moment to go for this Glacial Lance into the opposing Rillaboom.
Oh yeah, no, Rillaboom's dead.
It's going to be very vulnerable to this attack.
Yes, that is just going to be what I would essentially call a one-hit knockout.
It's
onto the Rillaboom. Might have damaged itself in the process, but it's going to be another boost here for this Calyrex. And then
Ooh!
that is another move that Indeedee can use to really just
No, yeah.
continue to keep this
Diego
Ice Water
wins
Calyrex
this.
healthy. It didn't have
That being
too
said, I
much
don't
damage
think
on
we're seeing
top of it just
Turco.
yet,
Like, I don't
now,
think.
even outside of Trick Room, a close combat to this Calyrex.
So, I am rooting for Diego just because I think his team is more fun somehow. But I'm rooting for an exciting match, which we are having. No, it's not done. It's gonna be 1-1, so we're gonna have the tiebreaker.
So I'm gonna go for that heal pulse, and I really love the way that Diego has played that, keeping the Calyrex as the center point, making sure that it's got high HP, it's protected constantly, and even though at some point this was Ursaluna's game, it was the one that you were focusing on, Calyrex is the one clean sweeping out this game too.
Really is. And I think Antonio is just thinking at this point, what do you do heading into this third and final game?
Yes.
Antonio, you lost.
To
Just
make the most of what you were granted in that first game, still having to find a way to really be able to get there in the first place and still take advantage of that critical hit. But Diego at this point, gotta start thinking about, you know, can I get through this? There is maybe an out here in terms of the amount of power points you have for a Glacial Lance. It's only 8. Is that possible? A double protect?
is it going?
It could be a way of kind of counting through against this Calyrex, but Calyrex still has a lot of utility to be able to do damage with.
Still has high horsepower
That's the high
too.
horsepower. As long
Why
as
are you
that's
looking at the
doing
team
damage
screen?
there,
Like,
it's gonna be
those
able
are
to
the
get
only
job done
Pokemon
against
left.
Urshifu. And even if the Calyrex isn't able to get the job done, you know, Indeedee providing that support, the redirection, it's going to be able to enable that. Obviously, Indeedee doesn't have any attacking moves, so you really are going to be focusing down against that Calyrex, but I think with the full HP remaining, it's going to be a really tall order.
It is. Maybe even thinking about how much time is left in the game. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of these scenarios here. If Antonio's not just thinking.
Is he
about
stalling
what's
for
doing this game
time?
3.
Well, he's definitely using that time, and I think it is a very wise thing to do, to start thinking about how to adapt. Because at the end of the day, this Calyrex, when it goes into this Dragon Terror,
Yeah,
is
double
so
protect
difficult to get
failed.
through.
This
you
is
always
it.
kind of want to go through and go for the Glacial Lance into it, because it will deal super effective damage, but that Imprison is so detrimental to Antonio's potential here. The Glacial Lance is going to come through, the failed third protect,
Yeah.
will be able to get the knockout on Urshifu, and we're going to see a game 3 here.
I think he was stalling for time. I don't know.
Wow,
Or
what
he
is
was
it so
just
far?
looking
Dio's
at
been
the.
so successful with this hard trigger.
Well, let's go. Final match.
You're absolutely right. That's kind of why in that first game I went, no, surely there's not an ice sort of Calyrex in the back here for Antonio, but it was.
He's not gonna bring
great that
Torkoal, but I
there
really want to
was.
see
Because when
Torkoal.
you do see that Imprison come out, that is something that you have to worry about versus opposing Ice Rider Calyrex. They've been plentiful in the meta.
And you completely shut down Antonio's one hit, Glacial Lance, high horsepower, Trick Room. Those are the 3 moves that you have in common. So all Calyrex can then do is protect. You can basically ignore it on the field and always focus down that partner slot. We saw again the opening turn here, big damage, losing the Ogerpon, but Ogerpon does its job. It just enables that safe Trick Room setup for the Calyrex. Yes, you're going to see some big damage coming through from the Artillery
Oh,
as well, but it
Victor
really is all about
lost.
that Calyrex at the end of the
F's
day.
in chat,
Being able to have
chat.
that Imprison really threatening Antonio and
Thanks a lot,
completely
Victor, for making it today
neutralizing
too.
one
Brazil
of
is
his
proud
most
of you.
restricted Pokemon.
It's also very good information for Antonio to know that, okay, even without that Guts boost,
Yes.
Headlong Rush, it's a one-hit knockout. My Raging Bolt is not going to be able to survive that. So now maybe you have to kind of think about, okay, is there
How's
an opportunity
Wolfie's game
then
going, by the
instead
way,
to maybe
Cyclone?
put the Rillaboom in, even if you have, does that buy you enough time? Maybe Indeedee swaps in for
How do I feel about Gen Pokemon in this tournament? Like,
from something like an Earthquake.
like I wouldn't do it, honestly. Like, I think it's so easy to get competitive Pokemon these days. Like, mostly, like, these people who know have bunch of friends in VGC, like, hey, I need an IV trained Calyrex, can you borrow me for Worlds? Like, of course. Like, I don't see why people would gen, and I think it's like unnecessary drama. It's just giving like some specific YouTubers out there some shit to talk about. Like, it's like you shouldn't, right? Like, don't gen. It's easy to get Pokemon. Like, and it's more.
I was gonna say though,
Why give yourself the trouble, right? Like, ask me. If you need a Pokemon, if you need an EV trained Pokemon, anybody in Worlds, if you need a Pokemon, ask me. I'll catch it and EV train for you in 20 minutes. So, I don't know.
With this, thinking about the Farigiraf and putting an offensive Pokemon next to it just to try to get
What's
some
with
damage
Germany
out of
eliminating
this
Brazilians from
one
competitions?
turn.
That is a forbidden subject on this channel, Shiny. We cannot talk about this.
With a win into the final round
We have a giraffe.
Look, dude, look at that. It's going to be a run back for Diego with the Ice Rider, Calyrex, and Ogerpon Wellspring. But for Antonio, it's the Ogerpon next to the Farigiraf.
The Farigiraf has come to play here in this game 3, being able to provide just a little bit of support with something like maybe the Trick Room, or even using that throw straight to boost up its Hyper Voice, getting some damage out in the field.
I mean, I'm quite sure in the next gen, Game Freak will give us like a candy that makes IV 0, so I think they also just want you to not gen, and they want you to make this as easy as possible. So
does it go for Trick Room or does it go for Imprison?
I feel like Trick Room is still.
I think like play however you like. It's just like I would rather, if I was competing, not to give any reason for weird YouTubers to be shit talking me on the internet.
If you're Diego, buy this lead from Antonio. You at least see the follow me once again to the Ivy Cudgel heading into this Ogerpon. It's not going to be a critical hit either this time, so Ogerpon's going to be able to hold on.
This Ogerpon is dying all the time. Poor Diego.
Troubles, what did Diego end up going for here on this Calyrex? After we get to see this throw trait boost here for the Farigiraf.
Yeah, Farigiraf kind of setting itself up here, getting a boost to its special attack, as Calyrex does indeed go for the Trick Room. I guess you're in a position in that next turn where you can just go for the Imprison now.
No, Diego's not Brazilian. The Brazilian player that got eliminated is not on stream. He's called Victor Vieira. And he lost to a German, and we don't talk about that. Okay, that is a forbidden subject in chat.
Calyrex maybe can go for that Imprison, allowing Ursaluna to go for the big damage on the field. The issue is there is no Raging Bolt that you're down against now, and Terrestrialization is still flexible on Antonio's side.
Yes, and I love that because, as we talked about before, this Farigiraf does have access to that Terra Water, and that's one of the ways you could resist some of this damage from this Ice Rider Calyrex while still being able to make use of something like the Throat Spray that you have activated for yourself on that first turn. Ogerpon as well for Antonio. Let's not forget that while it is a cornerstone and it has the ability to go out on offense, it also does have access to Follow Me as well. One of the ways you could also
we will discuss genning Pokemon. I think it's a cool topic. I don't have a very firm opinion on it. We can discuss it after the match. I'm gonna pay attention now.
And while it's still got the sturdy intact as well, the cornerstone Ogerpon is going to be able to hang around on the field a little bit.
Diego brought the same team 3 times basically. We're not seeing Turtle.
Coming through, it is going to be that Water Terror on the Farigiraf to give it a lot more defensive potential here on the field. That also really helps it out against Pokemon like the Ursaluna. Ursaluna is going to go straight away for the Headlong Rush. Looks like a really nice defensive typing switch here, but oh my goodness, that still does so much damage. Farigiraf is definitely more vulnerable now as the Glacial Lance follows up.
The Glacial Lance, though, with this Water Terra, is not going to be nearly enough to get this knockout onto the Farigiraf, which means that you actually have an opportunity to get some damage down if you are Antonio. The Hyper Voice, Ursaluna had dropped its special defense using that Headlong Rush.
This is hard.
Ursaluna is absolutely down for the
It didn't even activate Guts, so Diego's in a very bad spot here.
Even without the drops there, that would have done so much damage from the Power Whip coming through. Indeedee, however, now
I just want to point out this Indeedee's in a love ball, and I kind of love Diego for this. I really hope he pulled this through.
Get drawn into attacks except for that Hyper Voice, and you can see how much damage it is stacking up against his Calyrex. Unless Calyrex is able to get some KOs, which I'm pretty sure.
But Antonio's playing better, I would say. Like in all the matches, I think Antonio was able to completely nullify Diego's team. Like he tried the same thing 3 times basically. Like
I think it's tough as well because even though we saw how much damage that Calyrex could do with that Glacial Lance, now you have a different modifier you have to think about. Do you actually survive the Glacial Lance if this Indeedee goes for a Follow Me? They would be able to get a double knockout, but that is why we see Antonio just try to opt for the Spiky Shield onto the Ogerpon. That way you are at least denying one of those boosts. Let's see though, there was no helping hand. It's just getting the Glacial Lance here from this Calyrex, but it is enough knowing that you are going to be able to secure a knockout there.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Heal Pulse come through here as well, just to give that Calyrex a little bit more longevity and help it out.
Wait, did Wolf lose 1 round or did Wolf lose the match? What went down?
One of the best buddies you can have by your side in the form of
if Diego brought Turtle, he would have won. Probably not, because it's a bunch of water Pokemon on the other side, like Terra Water for Farigiraf, and now we're gonna see there's an Ogerpon there. Oh, there's a Urshifu there, right?
Terrain Control
well is at the very least
Oh, Wolfie
Yes, you do have to
lost.
fake out
F's in
potential
chat
hit
for
as well,
Wolfie,
because the grassy terrain is
guys.
over in the psychic terrain. You can go for these priority attacks, and we know how much damage Rillaboom is capable of dealing, particularly when using these grass type moves to boost up its grassy glides. That's only going to really affect Pokemon like Indeedee. Calyrex is still going to be so difficult to get through. You might even need to use the Ogerpon to try and get another critical hit with something like the Ivy Cudgel into that slot, but you cannot get around the Indeedee safely.
You can't. So that's why Antonio gets a chance to try to make the most out of this turn. You get the fake out into the Ice Rider Calyrex, make sure you can at least stop one more turn of damage, try to buy your time past these Trick Room turns, and just hope you've got the damage down onto this Indeedee. Ogerpon still has a lot of fight left in it, and with the power up, it is going to connect. So Indeedee just gets knocked out in one hit. That's going to leave this Calyrex vulnerable here for Diego as these Trick Room turns start to expire.
Who needs the critical hit when you can use the grassy terrain to boost up your grass type attacks as well? The one issue, however, is you power whip down into a rocky helmet. That is going to be the last little bit of damage on this Ogerpon.
Yeah,
Now Antonio
I think
has the
it's
free
done
swing,
for
brings in a
Diego.
Pokemon like the Urshifu here, but once again we're in this situation, Rosemary. We've got the Calyrex
His name sounds
versus
very Brazilian.
Pokemon
He's
that really
Australian,
cannot do
though.
a lot of damage to it.
Right?
This time, Calyrex does not have a supportive Pokemon by its side.
Maybe his
Doesn't
parents?
have enough gas in the tank to be able to hang on against both of these formidable attackers.
Well, you know that this Urshifu will be able to survive one more Glacial Lands, as the Grassy Glide does not do a little bit more than a tickle. And in response to Glacial Lands for Rillaboom, it always gets some damage down before it does get down and out for the count. But this Urshifu has a
I don't know, the
chance
Terra
to
Dragon might
do
be a good
enough damage
resistance
with
with the close
You
combat.
put yourself in a position where a second one's going to be able to do the job. It all comes down to this, Lou.
Can Urshifu do it? Close combat comes through.
What?
With a little bit of damage, puts it down into the orange.
I think
zone
Diego
here.
got
But the
this.
Calyrex looking so
Is
in
Trick Room
control.
up?
It's gonna be close, especially after a bit of that grassy terrain
Yes.
recovery. That's gonna make that damage
Oh,
even a little bit
this
more
is
different.
hard.
Once again, but now this Calyrex is going to be at plus
If the
2
Calyrex
when it
tanks
goes
it,
for
the plus
another
2,
Glacial
it's gonna...
Lens. Antonio has the
This is
speed now.
exciting.
Urshifu is going to move
It
first.
reminds me of the...
Otherwise, it is Diego's game here. Calyrex
Come on, guys! Let's go, Diego! What the hell?
Defense and defense even more, and here it comes through. Gets
This
the
is
knockback.
crazy!
Victorious in this
The
set.
comeback! Come on, Diego!
We get a chance to see
Woo!
if he can be victorious once again in that top cut. Fantastic play from Diego.
That
He
close
has
combat did
so much greatness in the
nothing.
season so far, and to find himself
Oh, that was
on top
crazy.
tables as we inch closer towards
Oh, I
the
thought
top
Diego
of the
lost
world,
it.
he must be feeling
Like, he
so
got an
strong.
incredible
Didn't
comeback. It was like
let
1
himself
against
kind
3. It was Calyrex against 3 Pokemon, and he pulled it out.
Antonio, to get the first match can be so difficult because you know that
Let's
there's no room for
go.
error here. You have to then win the next 2 to close out the set, and that's exactly what Diego did. Stuck with the same strategy, going the critical hit. Hey, that was unfortunate, but I was in the right.
Let's go
space
comment
where I
on
was
his
making
Twitter with Brazilian
Diego staying true to
flags, I don't
protecting
know.
that Calyrex will help to see that drive
No, this is
when
crazy.
Type got
Okay.
it in the
Chat,
Trisolation.
here's what I'm gonna do.
Hot Trick Room is still
We're not gonna
sitting.
watch this. I'm sorry. Let's pause this for a second. I'm gonna go on Twitter. Let's look. I'm gonna go on Twitter, the mental health website. I wanna look at some discourse about Wolfie losing it. Unfortunately, let's see what people are talking about. And then I wanna see Diego's Twitter account. I wanna see. Let's see what people are talking online, shall we? And then we can discuss about Jenny if you want. I'll pay attention to the chat in a second. 20 plus notifications. I love worlds. We're talking about a bunch of stuff. It's fun. Okay. So, what's going on in Pokemon? Bunch of VGC people talk move using Pachirisu was now decisions out, realizing... Okay, Pachirisu discourse, we can talk about that later. I want to talk about Wolfie. Wolfie wasn't kidding when he said he was only going to use the best ones. Yeah, somebody found the double Incineroar that we spotted, so I think somebody did this on purpose. Like, there's no way this was an accident. Look, what? What just happened here? Look at this. What is this? Like, Wolf just... something happened, like... he got chills. It's the green... It's like the Green Knight or whatever the ability of Calyrex is. Like... Yeah, people are not talking yet about Wolfie losing, actually. Okay. Viva Chile, okay. Wolfie lost a set. Yeah, people are not talking about Wolfie losing yet. I think it's because people on the stream don't know it yet. But yes, okay. This was cool. This was a very cool match. What is Diego's last name again? Diego Ferreira. Yes, let's look for Diego. Temucano Calameño, living in Sydney. Pokemon lover, VGC player. He's not very active, right? Last one was June 21. Brazil is hyped with your win. Amazing comeback. Best of luck. Heart emoji. Brazilian flag emoji. Cute. Let's go. Okay, that was a great match. This was very, very fun. Diego, I'm not chat. What do we want to chat? Do we want to listen to the interview? Using the same port, didn't see that coming. So many hype sets already. I'm here screaming. I'm screaming too, Robbie for short. Brazilian flags in chat. He's flabbergasted at the existence of Incineroar. When it was Marcus Silvia, it's not that surprising if he was going to be losing to someone. Yes, I mean, yes. Being undefeated champion would be too much of a fever dream, right? Our South American brother. People probably didn't see it yet. Yes, great match. You should have written, come to Brazil. I don't want him to go to Brazil and then beat all of our players in the regional. Stay in Australia. The love bow in DD is so real. Thanks for having the love bow in DD. I should have put that in the comments. The love bow in DD gave us all we needed. Fun. Next one in 5 minutes. Chat, do you wanna discuss some what were we talking about again? It was a very difficult topic. It was should be Gen Pokemon. Like, it's the thing. Like, it's against the rules, first and foremost. So I understand that the goal of the championship is not to see how good you are at catching Pokemon. It is to see how good you are at playing this little chess game, which is strategy Pokemon. You find the best Pokemon, but the game itself that you were supposed to play demanded that you play it somehow. So we have the nullifying Mochi. I believe Game Freak is paying more and more attention to these things after each gen. So I do hope it becomes even more accessible to have competitive teams. I also hope that it is something that is kind of locked after a post-game, so it rewards players somehow. Like, if you ask me about the ethics of genning Pokemon, like, I don't really care that much. But it is a competition, they have a brand, and they want you to play the game to compete. So I understand why genning is a bad thing for the Pokemon company, like, of course. And yes, I think that if you're playing Worlds, even if it takes you 30 hours to find a great Pokemon, I think there is at least a little bit of effort that needs to be put into this, unfortunately. So 0 IVs is crazy, but I don't know, maybe you can get some help from your community, maybe somebody can borrow you a Pokemon. I understand why people would like to have easier access to this kind of Pokemon, but I also understand why the positioning of the Pokemon Company is so harsh on PK hacks and stuff like that. He shouted out his boyfriend, I think that's what he said, and of course all his fans. So, is he queer? I didn't watch the interview, I'm the worst. Can somebody confirm if he's queer? I mean, he has an DD and a Love Ball, so I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that straight men cannot bring Love Ball and DD to championships, but now that somebody mentioned the boyfriend, I'm starting to wonder. Did he say that? Can somebody check that for me? Apparently Diego Ferreira has a boyfriend. Okay! Maybe I need a part 2 of my video that needs to be in the making. That being said, I still hold my position that having a queer VGC champion would be the dopest thing ever. So Diego is definitely now on the list of players we stan, together with Wolfie. Like Wolfie and Diego. Now that Victor's out, we are rooting for Wolfie and Diego. I agree that training competitive Pokemon is hard, but I also think they just made it easy, like Showdown. If they made it easy, like Showdown, it would take off the aspect of raising a Pokemon from the beginning. Yes, like, they would basically just do which is something they could do, like, give us Pokemon Stadium, and give us rental Pokemon, and then people will not need to gen Pokemon anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand if we are playing a championship of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, then okay, it makes sense that people need to play Scarlet and Violet to get a team. But if you want to make a game like Showdown, if you want to make Pokemon Stadium, if you want to make like psyched up Battle Revolution, then that can also solve the problem, right? I think they should just have a Showdown-esque team builder for online and local multiplayer battles. And honestly, there is such a... Showdown only exists because there is like this empty space of people that need a Showdown-like game. And honestly, if Nintendo made a Pokemon Showdown, I mean, Showdown has the advantage of being very accessible and playable in the browser, but Showdown only exists because Nintendo didn't give us a Showdown. So there is space, there is need for a game like that, and yes. I don't think like you should be able to just write down a Pokemon in the main game and it would appear. But if you had a side game for competitive battling, then I don't know, just spitballing here. He has a boyfriend. Gay rights. LGBT flags in chat for Diego, the winner of the last match. Pokemon Stadium tree with every Pokemon in it would be sick. I am a Pokemon Stadium tree truther. Like, it's never gonna happen, but the Pokemon games that I probably play the most in my life were Stadium 1 and 2. Look at that Sprigatito! Wait, chat, look at the size of this Sprigatito. I need it in my life. Why can't I get... I want Pokemon merch. Damn it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, getting to the crunch time. Sierra, what about
I want
yourself?
Pokemon merch, but there's no Pokemon Center in Europe. They only deliver in the UK. I hate Brexit because that means I can't buy Pokemon stuff.
And then, yeah, that buy is so important. There's been so many dreams that have
The
been
Pokemon are already set to level 50. Just set the IVs and competitive to max IVs. The concept that IVs aren't very competitive anyway. Yes, but like sometimes you need different kind of IVs, just like EVs. Like some ROM hacks address that, and they do it in a good way. Game Freak just needs to go a little bit to the drawing board and see, okay, how do we preserve the games and the gameplay vision and design philosophy that we have, while making competitive more appealing to the masses and more friendly for the players. Which I'm like here trying to tell Game Freak how to design a Pokemon game, but I'm sure they are all aware of everything we're talking about here. Like, I'm sure they have these discussions inside. They have team of professional people like going over this. Like, I have hope that we have gotten some very important quality of life improvements in the past few games, and Gen 10 is probably gonna have even more.
Restricted Pokemon itself. And you even stuff that's a little lower, like the Heartflame Ogrepan, the Fluttermane, the Chi-Yu. There's a lot of Pokemon that's like you really don't
Diego did indeed shout out his boyfriend.
that
Yes!
surprises me is the Incineroar, where
Gay
people got
rights!
a little too cute, where I think that's
Gay rights and gay champions.
and
Or bisexual. I'm not committing bisexual erasure here. He could be bi. He could be bi.
Yeah, I completely agree.
He has a boyfriend. He's
Especially coming into the World Championships, one of
He's
those
a dude who
Pokemon
likes
that
dudes.
has dropped off slightly, but I think it's always going to be one of those staples.
Honestly, I wish they made the mechanics less obscure to work with. EVs have graphs now, sure, but a better UI for stat customization, maybe gated behind post-game, would be such a game changer. I think they were supposed to, like, we were not... When they came up with EVs, like, we had DVs before, I think EVs are from Gen 3, but when they came up with EVs, we were not supposed to know about them. Like, we were not supposed to measure them. Like, I think that they have softened up in the past few years. We are gonna get there. I'm positive that we're gonna get there at some point.
With that RTP rapid strike, that you could really kind of set up a board state to your favor with that double fake out pressure and those constant threats of intimidates. Even just things like a knockoff.
I don't want to look at this chart. I want to see the Sprigatito plushie again. Pokemon, give me the Sprigatito plushie, please.
In terms of, I thought this would have been a Urshi, Rillaboom, Incineroar for our top three, and then going on. So that one kind of just me off guard a little.
Yeah, and I think the proof's in the pudding, right? Like Scott said, you know, when we look at the better records in the tournament so far, they are the teams with that Incineroar kind of included in them, so it kind of is one of those things where...
So, funny thing by the way, like, it's only water Urshifu, right? Dark Urshifu just doesn't show up. It's funny, because I think it's the thing of the core, that you need to have a water, a grass, and a fire type. And Urshifu just works much better as that water type, rather than a dark.
This has made not only just made the usage topic, but it's actually been really well in matchups. And I mean, it makes sense, the typing of it, that built-in sturdy and being able to fire out some really
I think we should have Pokemon Stadium 3 with rental Pokemon. That's how we fix genning in Pokemon. That's my hot take. You can quote me on that. We need Pokemon Stadium 3.
I think some teams would love to have more than one, but yeah, I mean, it's helping keep that Incineroar number down in particular. And
I also want a shiny Shaymin. Can you please shine Shaymin?
Yeah.
How many? And I didn't even do a lot of resets today. Like, I'm not paying attention at all. I could have gotten 2 shinies already and I would haven't noticed. I also find it super funny that the Miraidon not bike is called Ultimate Mode. It's like straight out Dragon Ball stuff.
Well, I mean, I feel like the Groudon, again, a participation award. 6, and the Groudon should not be seen here, but no, I feel like this is pretty rough. Like, this is, I think, what I would expect coming into this. You have the big 3 exactly where they should be, the top 3 up there, and the kind of B tiers that can definitely make a run and definitely have this opportunity to win the World Championships. That's Zamazenta, the Terrapagos, and that Kyogre. I think those 6 are the ones that we are kind of really expecting going into
I've been to the forest with a horse with no name. It feels good to be out of the rain. 'Cause in the desert, no one remembers your name, because there ain't no one there to give you no fame. Singing la 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 la. I hate that I can't get Shaymin because I lost the event 2 years ago. I was like, I'm not gonna catch this because I'm gonna shiny hunt it at some point, and it took me 2 years to actually get to shiny hunting it. But yeah, I think Skyform Shaymin specifically is so pretty. But it sucks that it was a limited event, like it makes absolutely no sense. Like the idea of giving you access to this is like, okay, we had this limited thing in the Gen 4 games, and now we're gonna give it to you like properly, and they didn't. It's still time, so.
I don't know if I'm just the sort of guy who looks at my usage stat charts half empty but I thought there was really a world where kind of like both of the Calyrex and Miraidon probably have 5 or 10% more usage each, and all of the things beneath them are kind of in the Groudon zone of maybe they don't need to.
But at least you have the Oak Slider, yes. And I mean, I need to get Shaymin because then I will go for Arceus, and that is definitely a shiny I want to acquire to my collection. Shaymin is great. I really like it too.
But I was seeing an awful lot of those big three, and I'm glad that there's a real chance that none of them take home the ground.
Chat, would somebody be so kind to get me the clip that Diego shouts out to his boyfriend? I really want to share it on Twitter. I think it is a nice conversation to be had there, and I don't feel like it's being had, and I don't know, maybe it's a little bit egocentric of my part, but I always try to drive up some more queer conversations in VGC. I'm not sure if you noticed it already, but I think this clip would be something that I would like to share there. If somebody could clip it for me and send it, whatever you can send me, I would be very grateful. I think it would be nice to highlight this outside of our stream, because I think here we are super excited about it, but I'm not sure if outside of here people are noticing it that much. Or you can do it, Shiny, of course. I can retweet you if you want. Shaymin, so cute. Thank you, Willow. Thanks for the good luck. I love Ogerpon Wellspring. It's my favorite Ogerpon. It's blue. And I think the blue and the green go well together. Just like the shiny Shaymin.
As we got into the deeper end of these tournaments.
Which is really interesting to then see the fall off. It's I mean, if we ignore the Teal Mask one, but the three that are a little bit more viable out here, it's the one that didn't make that debut graphic, which is then you look at how rampant this Urshifu Rapid Strike is in this format, because this is something that with that Water Absorb and the possibility of Follow Me, you could think of.
Okay, I'm getting hungry. Maybe I'm gonna go do that grilled cheese soon. Let's just see what the next match is. It takes a while between matches, right? I didn't notice this before. It's like a good half an hour.
Yeah, I think, kind of maybe if we have the Pokemon World Championships rerun next weekend, we'd probably see more of this Pokemon as a response to all this Urshifu, but I think, the 800% of players or whatever that chose to bring Urshifu into day 2 kind of made a nice read that players had largely moved away from this Wellspring. They don't have to worry about it anymore. It's got the teardrops in the mask because no one wants it on their team. I think the other thing that really hurts it too, though, is I think just from a tight matchup perspective, outside of Urshifu, it has some sort of similar offensive strengths as the Cornerstone Ogerpon, but that Pokemon just tends to be a lot stronger in this format because of the differences in their ability.
Yeah, but I think this match was quite long. It was 3 rounds. It wasn't super long. It wasn't stalled out, but it was on the longer side, I would say. Was kind of fast, you think? Okay, then. Thought it was kind of fast.
Talking about the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, we can take a look at that a little bit deeper dive now. Obviously the rock typing there, but that ability Sturdy is one of the real draws to why players are kind of using that Pokemon. Not only, like you say, having that 100% accurate rock type move, getting away from those shaky accuracy rock slides that we've had to rely on in the past, but the Sturdy ability just gives that extra layer of security, especially with Ogerpon, with these masks. The mask takes up that held item, so having that ability there before it does Terastallize is so useful in the format.
Especially too when we do have our big bad restricteds we want to protect. When we do have these set of Pokemon, having a Follow Me redirection Pokemon that has essentially a built-in focus dash is amazing. Because if this was one of the other Ogerpons, well, there is definitely moves out here in this format that can't cleanly one-hit KO those, and so this has to be just a secure double up to try and take care of this Pokemon, and that just has so much going on for it. I feel like there's been a couple people from the get-go that have been really on this Cornerstone Ogerpon wave. I think this is kind of more so its time as a really great response to these Pokemon that we're seeing out here currently in our format.
Yeah, Sorry, no, you go for it, Scott.
Yeah, I think just such a great partner, right? Where I think it's just what you do is splash on teams because of a number of great attributes. You know, not only does it have kind of the effective focus sash with the sturdy ability.
Where are you,
Shiny
Shaymin?
Focus sash, which makes it even easier to pair with that Urshifu, who's often holding the focus sash instead. And also, I mean, I think if you remember back to the very beginning of the format, there's kind of a Pokemon I think we didn't take super seriously in the previous
Did I
regulation.
get that
But I feel
clip
like the first couple weeks of the
somewhere?
format, Ethan, you kind of saw
Is
it,
somebody
like,
doing
what
that?
we call, bad
Just
stuff, right?
checking.
Where it's just like Ogre Pot and a bunch of things I don't think I should see in a tournament, but it's like weirdly miserable to play against because it is so good at like shutting down Pokemon that otherwise just kind of have an easy time in this format. It really changes the way the other side of the field has to play, and I think when you can have a non-restricted Pokemon who helps dictate the pace of the play like that, just an incredibly valuable attribute to have in your team.
Yeah, and I kind of just back up everything
Don
you just said, 'cause I think even
Did you
on
tweet it?
FIFA, when you're looking at a team preview, you think that's always going to be one Pokemon that you've got to have at least a game plan going into if it does come from your opponent. And the pressure that it just applies as well, not from a supporting point of view, but also from that offensive aspect as well. Talking about the more offensive aspect of the corner, the Ogapon kind of forms is always going to be that hard flame mask as well.
Remember when I said earlier this week how queer friendly VGC events are and how incredible would it be to have an LGBT VGC champion?
We're still likely to see quite a bit of it
Well,
going into the latter stage of this tournament.
There is definitely
Post.
players that have made the run with the
Thanks for the
hard
clip,
play on.
Shiny.
And I think too when we look, it falls into the same issue
Let's
as the other ones.
bring
So, like,
eyes
you
to
would
this
see a little
cute
bit more
clip.
of
Let's
it.
watch the
If
clip.
you
We
have
didn't
more
see
than
it
one
on
of
stream, by the way. I didn't see it yet. I'm just trusting you all.
It's a fans and family at home.
Yeah, so
It's a fans and friends and family at home.
yeah, so many people. So yeah, so my friends, my Chilean friends that are supporting me there, my boyfriend that is watching me as well, and he always supports me.
Chi, chi,
The
chi.
Australian community
Le,
as
le,
well, 'cause I
le.
live in Australia now.
It's a fans and friends and family at home.
Yeah, so many people. So yeah, so my friends, my Chilean friends that are supporting me there, my boyfriend that is watching me as well, and he always supports me. The Australian community as well, because I live in Australia.
Okay,
now.
It's a fans and
now we
friends and
need
family
his
at home.
boyfriend
Yeah,
to
so
make a
many
very
people.
cute
So, yeah,
tweet
so
so
my-
people can show it on. So it can appear on the stream, just like Montana Mods. We need his boyfriend to
Attack
speak
boost is
up.
kind of the best of the available options in past formats. But it is like kind
I'm
of
going to go eat dinner. Thanks for the stream. I'm a huge fan. Thanks for joining, Carl. This has been fun. Thanks for entertainment. Looking forward to the video essay. It's gonna be cool. Stay tuned. I'm hungry too. Maybe I should grab a bite. I'm gonna go grab a bite. So here's the thing, chat. I'm gonna go for 5 minutes to grab a grilled cheese. You keep watching the spotlight. I'll be back in a second.
Where even though I don't think it, I think it played correctly isn't as popular.
And go retweet Shiny's tweet on Twitter, okay? Shiny, send the link on the chat. Can you even send links on chat? I don't know. Go retweet Shiny's tweet. Let's make some noise about queer VGC players.
Do a lot of damage to a lot of the restricteds that are out there. So if you're dealing something that can do neutral damage into a lot of things, super effective on things that wouldn't appreciate it, you even pushing something into, if you're up against a Rillaboom, you might have to push it into Terastallization, and when you want to maybe Terastallize that restricted more common than not, puts you in a tough spot.
Yeah, definitely, and I think even when you're looking at like those neutral Terra types that we're seeing, Raging Bolt for one where it does go into the Fairy Terra typing and things like that, you are threatened instantly just by the power that the Halfling does possess. Talking about Raging Bolt though, here we are. Another very popular Pokemon that hasn't really dropped off at all. Regulation G has just kind of kept its place really throughout, and for good reason as well. We kind of see it there with the photosynthesis ability, which occasionally gets used. We've seen a lot of players in this tournament using the booster energy, and the alternative is that Assault Vest, but I feel like we're seeing more booster energy in this tournament in particular than what we commonly see before then with the Assault Vest.
Yeah, it definitely puts it in a really dangerous zone, considering you do have access to that Thunderclap. So that booster energy synergizes really well with this Terra Electric that we've more started to see, as opposed to that Fairy type, considering a special attack booster energy, Thunderclap, Terra Electric, that is a lot of damage, and there is a good amount of Farigiraf out there in the field for day 2. I believe it was about 30%. But if you're not up against one of those priority stopping, this can threaten in a lot of ways. And this matches up really well into that Urshifu Rapid Strike. Some of them have Focus Sash, but if they're wanting to go for something like a Scarf or a Mystic Water, all of a sudden this is a clean one-hit KO. It can still threaten even other Pokemon like this Calyrex Shadow Rider. That wouldn't appreciate a hit from this either.
Wait, are we getting a Diego and Wolfie? Oh my god!
So great is that all of its stats are so high, right? And it's so difficult to knock off of the field.
We are getting a Wolfie and Diego matchup? Come on, this is gonna be sick. Stay tuned, I'm gonna eat, I'll be right back.
Even though perhaps last format, Raging Bolt will be the most dangerous thing on the side of the field. You can't just ignore, Miraidon or whatever to take out the Raging Bolt sometimes. And you can often, outlive that Farigiraf and then be able to threaten the Thunderclap later. I think another thing that's a big deal, we don't have the Life Orb on the slide here because I think it's increased in usage over the end of the season, but I think especially from the Japanese players, we're seeing more and more of that, and that's a pretty scary amount of damage between that and the Terra Electric, and unlike the Booster Energy, it kind of comes in and out of battle a little bit better because it doesn't have the issue where you can only use it once.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think when we were looking at Hifumi's team in particular, playing that Life Orb, and you think, wow, if Electric Drain, if you're facing down against a Miraidon, for instance, and the Electric Drain's up, and you've got the Electric Terrestrialization, you've got the Life Orb on top of that, same type attack bonus. This thing is going to be just removing things from the field very easily, so it becomes a big threat. Things like Incineroar that would normally be quite comfortable to sit in front of it, maybe get a parting shot off, just don't have that freedom anymore in front of this Pokemon. And another electric type Pokemon that we can take a little bit of a deeper dive on, especially this weekend. We've seen a little bit more of it than maybe what some of us thought is Iron Hands, and for good reason. Very strong Pokemon fighting electric. Common Water, common Terra types, I should say. I'm getting washed up in the waves here. Is the Water and the Grass typing on their Bulk Drive ability, obviously able to use that ability now. We're seeing a lot more electric terrain with the resurgence of Miraidon, and still common held item on there is that Assault Vest, but we have seen some different builds over this weekend, Scott.
Yeah, I think one thing that's really cool is we've seen a lot of low kick. I think, Iron Hands really had a resurgence at NEIC, but there's still some ways to innovate it, and yeah, I think it's kind of been a neat adjustment where players have kind of found they need some more immediate offensive power from this Iron Hands, a little more difficult to stay on the field for a number of turns perhaps. So yeah, and it's great this format where you've got a bunch of Paradox Pokemon tend to be a little bit larger. None of the restricted Pokemon have been attending the Weight Watchers meetings, so really high base power, high accuracy move.
Yeah, the Iron Hands truly turning into Iron Feet over here, but I love that adjustment that we see coming on out because I think it's just a really smart meta call into this. I mean, Iron Hands, we sometimes can see builds that are a little bit more on the offensive end. There has even, on top of this low kick adjustment, we've seen some that have maybe gone for this more clear amulet and this sword stance and trying to get this attack to start dealing out some damage. Since you do have the longevity with Iron Hands just naturally being more on the bulky end. So being able to have a couple of different looks with this Iron Hands is a really big reason on why this has just never really fallen too far out of meta. Sometimes it's a little bit of a sleeper, but it'll always come back, and it pairs up so well against a lot of these meta Pokemon that we have out here, and even on the restricted end, so no wonder that this is just a great Pokemon. And even with the slower speed, you can just have a really speedy team and not worry about your opponent setting Trick Room, because you throw out your Iron Hands. I love to play in those dimensions.
Yeah, so many valuable tools that the Iron Hands can bring teams. And one last Pokemon that we're going to have a look at is one that we briefly mentioned as well, and it's going to be Farigiraf. It's so useful, and so many players are really having a great time with it out here in Honolulu for good reason. Common Water Terra type, common Terra type is, we're going to see it fall into the water once again, but it is going to be water, it is going to be very commonly seen on it. Armatil is probably the main selling point from this Pokemon because of the ability to prevent those priority attacks up to your side of the field. Held items, we've seen a lot of the Electric Seed, especially when it's paired up with that Miraidon, makes sense. You get the defense boost when the Electric Drain is in the field. Citrus Berry and Throat Spray is something that we haven't seen too commonly, but Wolf Click is a player that is running that, and for good reason, because if you do fire off those hyper voices, you get that boost, and then you become a bit more of a threat, which Farigiraf can and has the capabilities of doing.
Yeah, especially too with the Farigiraf. If you can get it in a situation, you get the Trick Room and you have something like that Throat Spray, and be able to constantly pressure, a lot of times if if your opponent isn't having priority, they might not go for the choreograph, but all of a sudden making it a threat, they might have to deviate attention away from something else to target into that, which I never think feels too great. And even if you don't have the dimension in your favor, the choreograph just being able to stop the priority, that's grassy glide, gone thunderclap, gone sucker punch. What is that? Fake out? Who is she? And it's so nice. It's just a constant threat. You don't even need to bring it to the battle to all of a sudden kind of be in your opponent's head, because if they go for a priority attack and you swap that in, they can be cooked on that turn.
I mean, I think that's kind of the thing, right? You know, if you think back to a usage chart, like nearly everything on that top row other than choreograph itself has a priority move and makes it so much more difficult to use those Pokemon optimally. If you're trying to break Cornerstone Ogerpon's sturdy ability or a Pokemon's Focus Sash, suddenly you have to think twice about that, and it makes your unrevealed Pokemon even stronger, right? If you don't lead that choreograph, you know, just hanging out, maybe up at the back, maybe you don't, your opponent has to think twice, and it prevents them from taking what would otherwise be their optimal plays. I think we've been looking for a Pokemon that can remove priority so effectively, really for the whole time VGC has existed, right? And you know, finally we have one that has proven to be a mainstay in competitive play.
Yeah, exactly that. And Choreograph just one of those Pokemon I think we're probably going to see more of as we get deeper into the tournament. But Scott, Sierra, thank you for letting us pick your brains a little bit and get some expertise on these commonly used Pokemon that we're seeing in this tournament. But I believe our players already are getting warmed up, set up to be ready going into round 11. So we're going to throw it over to the casters now and get set up for that next and final round of Swiss.
Do you want to be legendary? Do you got what it takes to win? Well, we're gonna find
I
out
love
here.
that this stream was basically just for Redirect praise while I was away. I'm gonna turn my camera on in a second. I don't know, I never ate in front of the camera before. I mean, I know we already watched them both, but I would honestly love to watch Wolf against Diego on stream now. That would be so cool.
They are fighting for their opportunity to continue playing in this tournament. This is our final round of Swiss, which means anybody with an X2 record will be seeded into an asymmetrical cut moving forwards in the tournament, at which point it is single elimination, one loss, and you are out. And there are so many incredibly powerful trainers remaining here. Anybody who currently has a 9-1 record, as we no longer have any undefeated trainers, is guaranteed to move on to Top Cut next round. So congratulations to all 9 of those trainers you can see here. Anybody though...
Okay, so both Diego and Wolf can lose the last match, and they're both going forward.
Yeah, this is so difficult. This is one of the new format we've had for our Swiss standings, but the last few years of the World Championships, we've had this asymmetrical cut going into Top Cut, and obviously that math is for people much smarter than us. That's not our job to figure out all the people moving on to Top Cut, but you really do want to put your own destiny in your own hands, control this match. If you are 8-2 currently, you really need that victory just to put yourself, who knows, we could very well have a story. The last person making it into the asymmetrical cut round could very well end up still being world champion.
And that's what's beautiful about Top Cut, is that at that point in time, it doesn't necessarily matter how you got there, it just matters that you keep winning. And we have some incredibly difficult matches queued up for this round. We'll be featuring Victor Mendina versus Shi Liang Tang, but you have Michael Kels versus Nick Holmer. Fun fact, Nick actually missed round 1 of play yesterday due to a flight delay.
Oh, wow.
Took a game loss, showed up for round 2, and is fighting for his opportunity to cut.
So really, Nick is 8-1 if you think about it.
He is. And
I think I did see the tweet from Nick missing the flight. That's kind of crazy.
Continue playing to this point. But also, I see Aaron Trailer up there. Joe Brown, what jumps out as you as a notable matchup for the next round?
I think definitely our world champion Shohei Kimura still in contention. We saw him round 1. Hopefully he'll perform well in this final round. But Yuma Kinagawa and Taryn Birdie, Taryn, the UK representative, making Top Cut of the World Championships as well last year. So that would be a pretty cool accomplishment for Taryn to go back-to-back on the World Championships. But honestly, there's no wrong answer. I think, Victor Medina, Shi Liang Tang, that is quite the matchup here. Victor, a just perennial international championship top cutter at this point. I think 4 IC top cuts in the last couple of seasons, as well as top 8 at the World Championships last year. It's going to be no easy task for Shi Liang to win.
I was just about to say, you mentioned back-to-back World's top cuts, and Victor Mendina has the opportunity to go for it here. will have to beat the Hartford Regional Champion from 2013, or 2023, an area close to our neck of the woods. But what an interesting matchup we have.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is
Chat, I'm back, and I just wanted to say that I kind of stand Pallet Per, so that's a hard choice for me. Okay, I'm gonna quickly read chat. What did I miss? I had no plans to watch Worlds until I saw your video about queer trainers. Thanks for getting me hyped. Oh yes, I'm glad that I brought you into. It's been super fun. I would, but I'll stay away from Twitter. You do well. I wish I had your strength. I wish I could just not go on Twitter. But even now, it's more important for me even now that I'm starting to like try to get connections in the community, and like I really wish I didn't have to use Twitter, but I unfortunately do, so yeah. But I understand. How y'all doing? I've been doing a White Nuzlocke to celebrate the event. Wow, how's your White Nuzlocke going, by the way? I'm rooting for Diego, of course you are, Shiny. No, one of them has to lose, but it's fine, because they are both classified already, because they have like the 9-1 record, so it doesn't matter who wins or who loses this one, it's fine. That's gonna be an awesome match. I love both of them. I really wish we could watch. I mean, it's not an important match since they're both classified already to the final cut, so I understand they not showing that match. Like, I would like to see it though. Pokemon, please give us multi-stream next time. We want to see a couple of matches now. Like, give us like the how's it called when your dad is watching 4 football games at once. I love Wolfie, but I like to see Diego win. I'm not gonna pronounce myself on Diego or Wolfie, but I think Wolfie's getting a lot of attention. I think we should just try to give Diego some too. Especially Wolfie's like one of the biggest players here, so it's definitely gonna be shown. It's not gonna be shown. We know already it's not gonna be shown. Well, there's 2 Diegos in Route 11. I'm doing Hirofumi's squad right now. Yeah. I want to see Yuta Ishigari on stream at least once. Diego's 1 on the Masters ranking. I'm shocked how little Incineroar is showing. I mean, we are having very little Among Us also. I was doing the Among Us trends right meme thing, but we didn't see any Among Us in any of these matches, honestly. Hello, all back. Hello, Raul Incineroar fell off for Rio. Not if Wolfie wins. We finally do. Twitter and Instagram and MIO are the best platforms to bump into Poké fans, but I really wish Twitter wasn't so Elon. I think Elon will go bankrupt at some point and be forced out of Twitter, so it's just a matter of time, honestly. Like, I saw some news about them they are going into very serious financial problems soon. So I think we're gonna have normal Twitter in the future. Is it time? Look, 2 bears and a horse and a genie.
Who is going to be happy in Honolulu? These are some heavy hitters. Of course, Calyrex Ice Rider is the slowest Pokemon on the field. That might be something that Victor is angling for, because you can try to twist those dimensions and have the advantage. But with 2 Urshifu on the field now, you have to worry about how those 2 Pokemon speeds are training.
First, though, we will get a U-turn into this Calyrex Ice Rider, giving Shi Liang the opportunity to pivot, and I like how he's immediately going for the pivot here. Given that the Landorus Incarnate will be taking super effective damage from a great Glacial Lance and also would not appreciate sticking around in Trick Room, I think this is a very safe play. Feel out how your opponent is going to approach the matchup and then respond to the next turn.
And Incineroar will go into that spot, but certainly
that's hard.
Not necessarily a prediction, as both Incineroar and Landorus Incarnate are weak to water, so just a really
and the Rocky Helmet is a good one, though.
To target into that position. Rocky Helmet is the held item for the Incineroar, so that's going to do 3 ticks of damage onto Urshifu, breaking that sash and actually doing a considerable amount of damage. Now Shi Liang will respond with the 3 critical hits of his own into Calyrex. Nowhere near enough for the knockout, however, so now it's just up to Calyrex.
Like, I feel like of either win, they're winners in my book, because if you go up against Wolfie, I think there's just an automatic gold medal there. Ooh, okay, Isanora is down. I'm not sure if you know the creator of Bloody. She's also trans, she does Pokemon stuff. But it's more Pokemon-y than mine, for sure. But she's the sweetest. I really like watching Bloody's videos. And then there is one video in which she just trains VG, she learns VGC in like 2 or 3 weeks and then goes against Wolfie and, spoiler alert, wins. So it's kind of crazy. I think it's a fun watch, you should check it out. I don't remember the name of the video precisely, but it's like I challenged the world champion or something. It's fun.
Yeah, this Calyrex, as you mentioned, it's already under.
Finished my rough cut, by the way. Turned out to be about 15 minutes. That's nice. When are you uploading that, Robbie?
Necessarily safe on the field while Shiliang's Pokemon are fast.
She does lots of MTG.
I think the one nice thing as well about going for that surging strikes first initially is
I think she stopped. I haven't seen a video from her in a long time. I think she's focusing on saucy stuff.
Last turn, which means it's certainly available for this turn.
Well, you can only protect against Landorus as the Earth Tower goes into the Urshifu slot instead, so no damage coming out from Shiliang's Landorus, and his Choice Lock into the Earth Power. But of course, Calyrex is going to have to eat those unseen fists from Surging Strikes Urshifu.
Calyrex
just
down.
enough on that third hit for the knockout.
So it looked like it was indeed the U-turn that made all the difference in that previous
Share the link
turn.
once it's up. I would love to watch
Victor
it.
To consider when we're talking about game number 2 in this set, because given that lead, I think that the Calyrex was hoping to get Trick Room up a little bit sooner on in this matchup. Because again, if you look at how these teams match up on paper,
I mean,
Victor's team
it's sad. I mean, it's not sad. I'm glad that she's having success doing content, but it is a tricky subject to. You know, it is a family-friendly series after all, so.
Now you just have to get some damage on the field. Maybe break the Ogrepon's sturdy ability.
I understand everybody involved in the story, honestly, for taking the decisions that were taken.
Ogrepon's going to be really crucial here in game 1 for Victor, has its support with Follow Me being able to redirect attacks away from his own Urshifu. But now it's time to lock in the terrestrialization turn, or game 1 for Victor. That's Terra Water going to be doing way more damage now with your Surging Strikes. And you have that comfort of knowing, because Ogrepon can redirect the attacks away, that your Urshifu is not worried about getting KO'd. Earth Power.
I don't know. I'm just reading chat. I'm assuming things being said in chat are true. I don't know any details. I know as much as you people. So. Oh yeah, this letter is down.
That was more than a one-hit KO technically, but still enough damage to remove that Pokemon from the field. So great use of Follow Me from Victor there. Will trade the Ogrepon for the opposing Landorus, but once again, we saw that opposing Urshifu on Victor's side of the field move first. So really, assuming that Shiliang doesn't have another speedy Pokemon in the back, maybe his own Ogrepon, you've put yourself in a great position to clean up this game number 1.
And Raging Bolt will swap onto the field for Victor, as both of these trainers are down to their 2 final Pokemon in game 1. It's Shiliang's restricted.
I don't really know any other trans Pokemon content creator. Do I? I'm thinking.
This electric weakness on the other side, because
I don't think I do. Like,
Terra. So if Raging Bolt goes for any attacks into that side, it will be super effective.
Like I know, yeah, some people that go by
Raging Bolt cannot terrestrialize away from its weakness to Glacial Lance.
Yeah.
And as of right now, the Calyrex Ice Rider on Shiliang's side of the field is at full health and will continue to be at full health. I think all Shiliang needs is the opportunity to get some damage down on that Pokemon.
Shiliang also protecting in front of an Urshifu. We've seen it 2 times now in this first game. The Unseen Fist ability putting in so much work for both of these trainers.
Why are they protecting? Like, it's literally 2 Urshifus.
Here's the close combat into Victor's Urshifu, and that will be enough for the knockout. Absolutely trade those defense drops to get rid of Victor's Urshifu. Now it's all down to...
Yeah, it's TPCI, which is the Pokemon Company International. But yes, that's what it stands for.
Winning this game is going to be so crucial. Draco Meteor only 90% accurate, but goes into Protect anyway, not mattering.
I know, you were gearing yourself up for it too.
I was for the Draco into the Urshifu there, yeah.
I know, I feel like my heart always skips a beat when it's like, okay, where can Draco target?
Yeah,
does that mean that it's not going to attack? No, that was a really great turn there from Shiliang, and now we do get to see the reveal of the Stellar Terrestrialization as well on his Urshifu. And I love the stellar terrestrialization adaptation that many trainers made coming into this tournament, because in situations like this, yes, you only can boost every attack type once per game. Oh, this is where it counts. That's it, so much damage.
Essentially an adaptability boost onto that close combat, doing massive amounts of damage. Draco Meteor will respond with the KO into Xi Liang's end. So you do have a -2 special attack, Raging Bolt, with the worries of speed tiers, but of course,
oh my god,
Urshifu is fast.
Aquajet
has his own priority. Aquajet more than enough to handle these 10 hit points, and Xi Liang's gonna win game 1.
A fantastic end game there by Xi Liang. A little bit
he looks
nerve-wracking
angry
in that
though.
final turn, I think, trying to determine if your opponent would try to go for a thunderclap, maybe to pick up the KO on the Urshifu, or target down the Calyrex Ice
We
Rider.
stand a Pelipper team, honestly. A
Both of
Pelipper
those
rain team,
Pokemon
I
were
do.
capable of cleaning up that game. But Xi Liang correctly making the call there to go on the offense with that huge close combat into the opposing Pokemon, save the Calyrex Ice Rider for the next turn, at which point Aquajet plus any attack, depending on what that Raging Bolt would have picked, locked in that KO.
Now I'm wondering on Xi Liang's end, because he was able to preserve the Calyrex so much later on, and it didn't end up turning into a Trick Room Mirror or having the 2 Calyrex in the field at the same time, that if you're Victor, do you kind of steal that strategy and don't let your Calyrex Ice Rider get knocked out as early as it did in game 1?
You know, looking at these teams as well, I do have to wonder if Xi Liang even wants to try and go for a Trick Room approach. I don't think he does, and I think Victor, while it would have given him a bit of an advantage if he had brought different Pokemon to that game number 1, given that he led with the Urshifu, we also saw the Ogerpon, the Raging Bolt, those are all naturally fast Pokemon. I think that if you're confident in maybe how your Calyrex Ice Rider is trained, especially for a mirror matchup situation, you can make the call in team preview, like, I don't want to go for Trick Room this time. That all being said, I do know that some trainers preparing for the World Championships were actually looking at running more neutral speed Calyrex Ice Rider or even invested speed Calyrex Ice Rider, specifically for situations like this. And given how quickly we're jumping into game number 2 here, I think both these trainers have their game plans ready to go.
All right, well, Victor's hopes of making Top Cut here in Honolulu are on the line as he is down a game to Xi Liang Tang here in round 11. Xi Liang with the lead of Incineroar or Shifu. This time, Incineroar can't take a bunch of damage on the swap in because it's already on the field.
It is already on the field, but that does mean it is also immediately threatened by the presence of the opposing Urshifu. So Xi Liang does have access to Fake Out for this turn, but will have to look towards that Pokemon to stop it from getting a really one-turn knockout, at which point the Calyrex could go for Trick Room, could really do what it wants in this situation.
Victor going for the Terra straight up on turn 1. Waited a couple of turns the last game to, to kind of see the situations. But
this Incineroar is
right into that Incineroar. You know, there's no Citrus Berry. It's the Rocky Helmet on this time. So Xi Liang, is he willing to trade these 3 ticks of damage from Rocky Helmet to lose the Incineroar? Remember, no Fake Out on that turn either. Technically, the 3-hit, 1-hit KO. However you want to.
The 3-hit, 1-hit KO.
But regardless, it leads to Incineroar getting knocked out on turn 1 without really doing anything beneficial for the Xi Liang. Now Urshifu's going to respond with his own poison strikes.
The big question here, though, is what strategy is Victor going to take moving forwards with this Calyrex, as the Incineroar was one of Xi Liang's best answers to this Pokemon in game number 1. Going into this game number 2, we see a single target Glacial Lance. Doesn't do a lot of damage to that opposing Urshifu, but Victor once again indicating that he is confident.
I think Victor has good tempo, not tempo, like momentum on this one, maybe, like, I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. 3-hit, 1-hit KO, please, that's so unserious. I love it.
Do you try to prioritize the U-turn damage? We saw how much it did the Calyrex last time around, but at the same time, that Urshifu's looking mighty juicy at half HP. That could be a pretty good target for this Choice Scarf Landers to go into. Smartly though, Victor.
Boom, boom, boom. It's time for Rillaboom.
Urshifu looked in a tough spot, so Rillaboom will swap onto the field in that spot. Sandsear Storm hits, connecting onto
the Twitch stream I'm watching is like a good 10 or so odd seconds ahead, and your prediction was spot on. I am a pro Pokemon VTC, but it is is like, it's crazy because like this is my phone doing all the 5G work, so it is kind of insane that I'm having so little. I'm not gonna jinx it, but it is quite cool that I'm having so little transmission problems. I love how there's just a hate against Incineroar between just being able to shut down physical attackers and just being hated. They just had to remove them.
Prioritizing knocking out that Calyrex Ice Rider initially to open things up for presumably once again his own Ice Rider in the back of his party.
I do feel like Victor feels really confident with the Rillaboom on the field right now. One, you have Grassy Glide with grassy terrain that threatens Shaymin or Shifu. Can't Terrasilize out of it because of Stellar Terra. And remember, Landorus is choice locked into Sanseer Storm, so you're not threatened by Sludge Bomb whatsoever. Shaymin would actually have to swap out to reset its attack.
And if it is indeed the Calyrex Ice Rider in the back of his party, I don't think he wants to risk making
I think Victor has the upper hand here, for sure.
Rillaboom does get hit by the Sanseer Storm, but remember, because of the sheer force ability, there is no secondary effect from the Landorus. Urshifu on Shiliang's end will knock out its counterpart, so Victor's Terrasilize Pokemon has been knocked out here in Game 2, but it's up to Rillaboom on this turn. Which of the two Pokemon on Shiliang's end did he target? That's a Wood Hammer with a grassy terrain boost into the Landorus for a one-hit KO.
And that was the Pokemon he
and honestly, the Urshifu will go down to a Grassy Glide, like, so quickly.
Of Raging Bolt succeeding in the future of this game. Sanseer Storm would have done so much damage. It is actually the Ogerpon in the back of his party, but still,
and like the sturdy Ogerpon, I think Victor got this.
You still have the Grassy Glide available for the opposing Urshifu, but now you have
this is hard,
to go for
though.
a Rock-type Ivy Cudgel against the opposing Calyrex Ice Rider. There's still a couple of tricks up Shiliang's sleeve, though, that he could fall on here. One thing
I think it's a Grassy Glide and a Ivy Cudgel, like, that kills the game.
Calyrex Ice Rider is actually Terra normal. If you were running the standard Terra Fire Calyrex Ice Rider in this position, you'd still be taking super effective damage from that Ogerpon. But you can at least reduce things to
Why,
a neutral
though?
hit, which will
Why would you power whip
which
it?
will open things up a little bit more, but still, Victor has found
the Terra, right?
to bring us to a Game 3.
Yeah, I think that Terra Normal here we're going to see from Shiliang can be crucial because it was set as a Calyrex Shadow Rider counter, but really it's benefiting Shiliang right now against Victor's team, making those hits neutral instead of super effective. Aqua Jet doesn't do too much damage to the Ogerpon, but the Power Whip into Calyrex brings it down under half HP. Both of these grass types are taking advantage of the grassy terrain, and that's another KO for Rillaboom.
Grassy Glide, and then it's
Following
over.
what Shiliang did earlier on in this game, double targeting the opposing Calyrex and opening up the door for him to stay in this competition. Two grass types against an Urshifu. Even if it could use its Stellar Terrasalization, it does not have enough damage to take down these two Pokemon.
Yeah, that is the absolutely crucial play of this game was Rillaboom one-hitting Landorus, because once Sludge Bomb is out of the game, you don't have to worry about
Victor, you won. Just chill. Just
you can
attack
stay
it.
here and use those grassy
You
terrain
won.
boosts and Wood Hammers, and at any point now it's just your Shifu. You can even click Grassy Glide if you want.
You still have to be a little bit careful here with how you approach things just to be safe. However, Victor will indeed win that match thanks to the forfeit from Shiliang Tang. And we're getting the game number 3 in this final round of Swiss at the World Championship.
That's all we can ask for, Gabby. Honestly, Game 3s are so intense. I can't even imagine what's going through. Their hearts must be pounding on stage. I'm nervous just watching.
Well, especially since the matchup is so close. Just like you said, it was the Wood Hammer into that Landorus Incarnate that gave Victor Vendina the opportunity to fight back. Shiliang could have very easily made a switch there or otherwise tried to stop that Rillaboom from finding that alignment. I think going into game number 3, you have to respect that threat from your opponent, as the Landorus Incarnate was a huge important Pokemon for Shiliang. I don't think you necessarily can comfortably lock into Sanseer Storm, especially knowing that your opponent had 2 Grass-type Pokemon in the back. So going into this game number 3, I'm really curious if we're going to see Shiliang try and preserve that Landorus so that Sludge Bomb is available when you need it.
Yeah, I think Landorus Incarnate is in such a difficult position because it is
Who are we rooting for here, chat?
crucial to Shiliang's success in
Because I like
this
Chili
set. And the
Yang's
issue is if it goes down,
Pelipper,
you're
that's kind of
losing a lot
it.
the chess
But he's
into
not using
Victor's
Pelipper,
team.
so
There is the chance Ogrepon
I don't know.
Teal'c doesn't mind taking grass attacks, right? It takes it better than Landorus as a grass type Pokemon. So we'll see if there are any adjustments in this crucial game 3, winning in for top cut of the World Championships. Urshifu, Rillaboom for Victor, and then Incineroar or Shifu for Shiliang.
That Incineroar loves connecting the Intimidate against the Rillaboom. Also, seeing the Rillaboom turn 1 from Victor will help Shiliang pivot a potential Landorus Incarnate in the back a bit more correctly. Both these trainers have access to fake out this turn. I wouldn't be surprised.
Victor, because he's Suki's friend. Okay, then we are rooting for Victor.
Just because that was
Oh, Victor Medina, of course! Ah, I just connected it. Yes, yes. Let's go, Victor.
Something that these trainers have to be worried about. Do you protect on this
I
turn,
talked
try to
about it.
preserve that?
You talked about it on my video, but like, it was on my video.
Exactly, and then you've added an additional mind game on top of that.
Ooh, I'm so slow. This is crazy.
Going to use Detect this turn. I could try and target down my own Urshifu's attack into that Pokemon. So I think the safest play is to just click Fake Out into the opposing Urshifu and try and power things through. But Shiliang, I think maybe, assuming the Fake Out was going.
Well, I voted
in that direction,
Shiliang, but
making
since
a
Shiny mentioned
switch.
Sugi, I'm going for
But
Victor.
see, there is the Ogrepon Teal'c, the hero of the DLC from Kitakami to Honolulu.
The hero of the DLC! Like, I thought it was doing something specific for this match.
For Shiliang in this game, so completely swapping up his strategy.
Oh yeah, no, this is totally different from before.
Rillaboom's Fake Out goes towards the Ogrepon on the swap in. That doesn't matter since it's not attacking.
Oh.
And the Surging Strikes is now into a grass type resistant. Rocky Helmet's gonna do more damage.
That's hard for
than Surging
Victor.
Strikes.
And a great adjustment from Shiliang because his terrestrialization in game number 2 ended up not helping him win the board state. If his Incineroar was able to hold on, break the focus
This is a
sash,
very
get
hard
Swap
matchup,
Helmet,
though.
and honestly, do more damage to the opposing Urshifu. And
Urshifu landing Will-O-Wisp already at half HP, gonna take even more recoil from the burn. As great of a turn 1 as Shiliang.
Ooh, this was tough. This was so
this
tough.
Incineroar is ready to go on the offense. Honestly, could try and connect another Will-O-Wisp against the opposing.
What does Victor have in the back?
If that Pokemon switches
You need to
out
go
the
out.
Calyrex Ice Rider, it won't be able to terrestrialize. If you land a bird against the Ogrepon, it's going to have its attack. There is so much opportunity for this Incineroar thanks to that.
It was an
grass-type
epic burn. Like,
terrestrialization.
this is
The opposing
so
Ogrepon
bad.
As well could throw a bullet seed into the opposing Urshifu, and regardless of what Pokemon comes in, that is damage. Shiliang has so much momentum in this position right now.
And the beauty of Ogrepon Tiamat on the other side has a grass type with Follow Me is that you're not able. Oh, actually, he's encoring it into the Fake Out. Encore the tech that Ogrepon has used. It probably helped Shiliang get to this position. Now Rillaboom is
Chat.
into Fake Out, and it's burned.
Chat.
Rillaboom's attack will be halved for the remainder of
These
this
two plays were
match.
incredible.
Rillaboom also can't do anything thanks to that encore. A great play there from Shiliang.
Chat, what the hell?
Encore on the Ogrepon Teal Mask.
Victor Medina,
A Pokemon
Sugi's
with
friend.
Like you typically see on Whimsicott. So you'd have to predict that your opponent is not going to go for Grassy Glide, a priority attack, at which point you would lock them into that move. Now, mind you, not the worst move to lock a Pokemon into in this board state, but still, the
It's
fact
a
that it was Fake Out that got Encore
That Calyrex is in a love ball, everybody, just FYI.
Shiliang's favor.
Right, because that essentially means Rillaboom is useless. It is forced to swap out on Victor's end. This is information Shiliang can take advantage of. You know there's only one potential attack coming from Victor's end of the board this turn, but it's time to terrestrialize in game 3, and Victor, brain is restricted. It's going to be Calyrex Ice Rider, the most important Pokemon turning into a fire type.
There still is that water-type Rapid Striker Shifu in the back of Shiliang's
Victor is in a very, very bad position
While
here.
this Calyrex may have escaped not only just a parting shot thanks to the clear amulet, but the threat of Will-O-Wisp as well. This is the perfect opportunity for Shiliang to send in a Pokemon that can deal that super effective damage.
Yeah, he does have. We do see that is revealed now that Shiliang has revealed all 4 Pokemon. That the Landorus was not brought in this battle. It was the Ogrepon Teal
Glaceon is not gonna do
replacing it
anything
for
here.
the crew. Glacial Lance will connect on
This is sincerely a very heartfelt hug from Maranhense. That's in Australia. Thank you, Caetano. So nice to see your message. Thanks a lot.
That would be threatening Calyrex.
It's super early for you in Australia, though, right?
That there's benefit for going on the offense.
Or is it? It is. It's probably like 5 or 6 a.m.
Shifu would be faster than your Calyrex.
That's right.
Your Ogerpon is faster too.
Okay, no. Victor might be. I don't know.
Underrepresented Ogerpon forms are
Ogerpon is perfect.
Right now, here in round 11, surging strikes from the Urshifu is super effective, but Calyrex is just so bulky it's able to endure those 3 hits.
That critical hit on the Ivy Cudgel was huge as well because we saw that Ogerpon take an attack drop from the parting shot earlier. Calyrex was forced to go for a high horsepower just to get a little bit more damage down on that opposing Urshifu, but we've seen how the speeds interact. We know that the Ogerpon Cornerstone on Victor's side of the field would be faster. You do have to worry about fake out here now from the Incineroar, but I do think that Victor can simply go for a protect.
I want a funny Pokemon to win Worlds. I'm not sure if it's gonna happen though. The funniest we're gonna get is Ogerpon, I guess. It's 8 a.m. in Australia. I'm glad you're waking up on a nice Sunday. I am at midnight, so I'm gonna head to bed sooner rather than later. But it's been a very cool stream. I'm having a great time.
Physical attackers, so a lot of this damage output has been hindered.
It has, but these Pokemon as well, switching in, he didn't have to use Protect.
That's right, Wolves is going to go into the Rillaboom.
They are already burned. I mean, if Victor comes back from this, it's going to be epic.
With this Terra, Grass, Incineroar, don't want to go for any damaging moves, just try potentially burn the rest of the team down.
Even though the Rillaboom is burned on the opposing side of the field, it can still go for Fake Out. It is still a useful Pokemon for Victor in this situation. So by switching both these Pokemon in the previous turn, you don't have to worry about Will-O-Wisp, you don't have to worry about being flinched, and you buy yourself more time. As Victor still has the Pokemon.
Why did he U-turn the... Okay, I got it.
Especially important considering how those first couple of turns went.
Oh, that was bad, actually.
Keeping itself safe from an attack from Rillaboom, but not from Urshifu. Unseen Fist does not finish the job. Shiliang is still going to hang on in the red with his Urshifu. There's the Rillaboom, but it goes into the Protect, so smart play from Shiliang, not allowing Rillaboom to swap out and reset that grassy terrain. Insult to injury as I stop your U-turn, but Parting Shot lets Incineroar swap out for free.
That Urshifu on Shiliang's side of the field, though, is very low in health to the point where an attack from either of Victor's 2 Pokemon would do enough damage to knock it out. And Shiliang's win condition right now is keeping that Urshifu around for the return of the Terrifier. Calyrex in the back of Victor's party. Shiliang switching in the Ogerpon Teal Mask in this board position does mean that he can then switch in the
Detect, they're not gonna
Incineroar
outspeed.
for
Or,
that
I don't know.
But Victor can easily punish that play. Just double into that Ogerpon, maybe you double into the Incineroar, depending on what moves you want to target. Yes, you do have to worry about the burn modification on the damage on the field, but 2 attacks from these Pokemon is still going to put Shiliang's Pokemon closer to knockout range from the Glacial Lance, which is really Victor's winning condition out of this game.
At a certain point, Shiliang, even if he is statted, given the stats conditions to his opponent, he's running out of health on the 3 Pokemon that are still on his side.
These moves are gonna do nothing on Incineroar. Like, they are burned and intimidated.
For the max, there's the Aqua Jet, so a perfect swap in, bringing the grass type, even with a critical hit, hardly doing any damage there, and taking even more. There's the Bullet Seed we talked about in team preview. It's
that didn't do anything.
Urshifu, but let's see how many hits you can get with a loaded dice Bullet Seed into Rillaboom.
I mean, that's 3 hits. That's 4.
4 is guaranteed, so it's always 4 or 5 hits. Oh, and then the Ogerpon doesn't come through with the 5th hit. Finally, Rillaboom is able to swap out with the 2.
It was a super effective. Like, it did absolutely nothing.
Amount of damage onto that Rillaboom at the end of the day. Yes, those are resistant hits, but still overall down to about half its health. The only Pokemon with full health on Victor's side of the field will be his Ogerpon Cornerstone, which critically still also has that sturdy ability in play. While Calyrex is very tempting to send in on this board position, you're staring down 2 grass-type Pokemon. I don't think you can take that risk, as a Bullet Seed with 4 hits plus a knockoff certainly would do enough damage to pick up that KO. And if you leave that Urshifu just unattended on the opposing side of the field, I'm not sure it's going to be able to do much either. So really, all Shaymin has to do in this board position is focus down on that Calyrex Ice Rider. Sure, maybe you wait a turn here. Maybe Victor's probably going to go for Protect on that Calyrex Ice Rider to buy himself one more turn. But there's really nothing that's going to stop your 2 Pokemon, barring a critical hit. And even then, they just have so much help.
Yeah, there's a lot of help on the other side, and even if Victor's Pokemon, their hit points are going lower.
Where's that meme that like, oh yeah, I'm gonna visit my friend who's in the hospital just to show how much health I have?
Access to the sturdy that you were talking about, Gabby. On this turn, though, Victor crucially will protect himself from the fake out. Fake out goes into the Calyrex, so now it's going to be up to the Ogerpon, who is faster than Urshifu, clicking a follow me to redirect the attacks away. Will be close combat onto the Ogerpon. How well does he take it?
It's a crit!
It brings Ogerpon down to half. That's not what Shaymin wanted to see.
One more turn of burn damage as well ensures that this Urshifu will be KO'd at the end of this turn if Victor keeps it on the field. And honestly, seeing that you already rolled a critical hit on that close combat, you might as well go for it again. Your opponent your opponent wouldn't waste time picking up the KO there unless they had a spread move hit here, just because that Calyrex Ice Rider is so scary. But remember, with the pressure of Encore on the field as well, this switch is such a safe play for Victor.
And it's also crucial for Rillaboom to swap on to reactivate Grassy Terrain, since the burn would have knocked out Urshifu if he didn't. There's a close combat, no crit means no KO. Shaymin gets to keep his Ogerpon on the field, -2 into its defenses. The Bullet Seed goes into the Rillaboom yet again, so not getting too much value. It adds up over time, especially when you get some nice critical hits.
Oh, yeah.
To boot, but that's 3 hits of the Bullet Seed. This is the 4th. That's a guarantee. Can he get the 5th one? No. 2 times loaded dice has come up short, but the knockoff follow-up will be more than enough to take out Rillaboom.
Urshifu, though, like you just said, Joe, sticking around for one more turn thanks to the help of that Grassy Terrain. But Grassy Terrain is also going to heal up the Pokemon on the opposing side of the field as well. And again, we know that Urshifu needs close combat to get a critical hit to pick up the KO on the Ogerpon from this range. Victor is down to his final 3 Pokemon with that Ogerpon cornerstone.
Okay, so he can't stall anymore.
On his side of the field at full health.
And with Follow Me, it would redirect the attacks away, meaning this low health Urshifu, with all the defense trap, can continue to go for these critical hits because the Grassy Terrain activates before the burn damage kicks in.
It does, but how many turns are you going to have the opportunity to do this? And on the off chance that you think your opponent, this is such a tough position to be in. I feel like you want to go for the Ivy Cudgel here just to get the KO on the opposing Ogerpon.
This is insane. This is...
The opposing Urshifu.
Poor Victor.
It's Spiky Shield and Rocky Helmet on the other end, so no matter what Victor targets into, he's going to take the recoil damage and knock itself out there. The close combat does so much damage, but it hangs on to the red. I thought that was going to be enough. I thought he got the Grassy Terrain recovery. Helped Shaymin hang on in that fight there. The party shot.
What the hell is going on?
The attack even more. He's already been burned. It feels so hurtful to do it there. But no, the Urshifu actually didn't make contact because it broke through the Spiky Shield.
Exactly. I know that's one of those mechanics that you have to really keep queued up and ready to go. But I think more importantly, the fact that we see the Urshifu return to the field on Shaymin's side of the field.
I'm speechless. I'm silent for the past 5 minutes because I just can't.
From the opposing Urshifu, and
I can't comprehend. Like,
it's something important to keep an eye on.
It's insane, Robbie. I don't know.
To the field, though, this turn.
I think Victor might make it.
Down onto the opposing Ogerpon, and I just worry that if you leave the Urshifu on the field while the opposing Ogerpon is still at such full health.
Like, I understand what just happened, but this is crazy. Yes. I think this is the most difficult match we've watched all day.
So Shaymin needs to get that Incineroar back out onto the field and really needs to put the pressure down on this opposing Ogerpon, who has critically become the cornerstone of Victor's strategy in this endgame.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, Gabby. That's a great pun. Always a fan of the puns on the broadcast. Aquajet finally deals with Victor's Urshifu, which hung on at 7 HP for 3 turns, finally getting knocked out. Power Whip into the low health Ogerpon.
Okay, so we have Incineroar, just gonna intimidate bad. Calyrex has very little health, but
first Ogerpon cornerstone and a low health Calyrex.
Sturdy is still active on this Ogerpon cornerstone.
yeah, Sturdy is active, so that's important. I think Victor has a very good win way out here. Like, it's much better now than it was 5 minutes ago for sure.
Could go for a follow, need redirection here to ensure that the Calyrex gets the opportunity to attack. You do have to wonder how many Glacial Lances will it take to pick up the KO on the opposing Incineroar. Yes, the Urshifu will be KO'd in one hit, but Calyrex, with such low health, the fact that its clear amulet is still held on does mean that knockoff should do enough damage to pick up the KO there. So Shiliang really needs to find the opportunity to focus in on this opposing Ogerpon. Doesn't have to worry as much about the threat of a spiky shield here, but still, everything comes down to this turn.
Let's see what Shiliang can do. The cornerstones, spiky shield, so going to be a little bit of a taste of your own medicine from the Rocky Helmet, right? Incineroar's going to take a little bit of recoil damage. Surging strikes from Urshifu takes out the Calyrex.
And now that the Calyrex has been knocked out, this Urshifu is free to focus in on the Cornerstone Ogerpon, will be dealing neutral damage to this Grass Rock type Pokemon, but still the combination of the Urshifu, of the Incineroar at so much health is giving Shiliang the motivation he needs to find his way into the final.
It's over.
Shiliang goes for the detect on this turn.
It's Jover. It is Jover for Victor.
So Shiliang calls it correctly. Now it's up to the Incineroar going for a Will-O-Wisp, landing another one. All 3 of his Will-O-Wisps connecting on this game. Very crucial.
It's a good insurance though to have.
My brain is not doing the braining right now. I'm in constant shock. I'm just watching the pretty lights go by. Like, but as far as my Pokemon knowledge goes, Victor just lost this. Like, there's no coming back from this.
It's not necessarily that Pokemon that you're trying to protect from that burn. You're trying to give this Incineroar enough time to ensure that, regardless of how much damage his Aqua does to the Ogerpon, Incineroar is able to beat Ogerpon in the end.
It's not Jover. Chat, it's not Jover. It is kind of Jover, though.
Terra Grass Incineroar that Shiliang broke out on turn 1 of game 3.
I don't know.
Potentially the way
I have no idea.
Win this. There's 3 minutes left. There's no shot this match is going to last 3 minutes with just 2 Pokemon left.
A Spiky Shield here is a good play from this Ogerpon to see what Shiliang's going to lock into, but critically will be dealing a bit of chip damage thanks to the Spiky Shield.
Is Ogerpon faster? I think it is, right?
And critically,
I don't know. It has attack down, it's burned, yeah. It's Victover, as dealer said.
To come back in this game.
Double protect!
Okay.
Means that Shiliang has now taken 2 more turns of recoil from these hits on Incineroar. It's put him lower, and all you need is a crit.
All you need is a crit, and I believe
if this is a crit, it's gonna be insane.
Here in this endgame. You could try
and the Kudjo has a no way.
It's only a 10% chance. Victor doesn't get the spiky shield, and Shiliang is
no, you flew too close to the sun, Victor. I know there wasn't much to do.
For the World Championship, Shiliang Tang will move on.
It's a great play, Victor.
Playing towards
this was. I am on the edge of my seat. I am speechless. This was
unable to find the final spiking shield that he would have needed to.
Can you imagine if he landed a 3 times protect?
To hopefully do enough damage to pick up the KO. It was still a bit of a stretch there in the end, but still, just the fact that he was able to recognize that out and play towards it to the
what a game, chat!
Shows why he was able top cut player in last year's World Championships. But this year, Shaymin Tang keeping the dreams.
Okay, so now it's top cut. I'm not sure how much longer I can stream though, because it's almost 1 a.m. I want to stay a little bit longer. Don't know, chat, how are you feeling? Are you watching the entire thing today? Like, what are your vibes?
Now day 2 he wins his winning in yet again. Shiliang is just super cool under the pressure of the most important matches of the weekend.
I know, he looked so calm and collected throughout that entire match. I mean, Victor as well. Both these trainers clearly locked in.
It's a good watch. It wasn't amazing. It was incredible.
Terastallization on that Incineroar from all the way back in turn number 1 of this game. Ultimately finding him those openings in the end game.
Should I go to bed? It's only midnight and it's Saturday. If I was outside drinking, I would not be going to bed. I can drink more caffeinated drinks. I can stay up. Diego won against Wolf!
Yeah, I mean, this match was just
come on! Gay rights? Gay rights in chat? I mean, poor Wolf, like he was coming from a perfect score to like losing 2 matches in a row. But still, Diego with that fun team. Chat, are we having a queer VGC champion this year?
In the end, it will be Shaymin Tang moving on, but I want to take a moment, honestly, to shout out both of these trainers in terms of their team building for the Calyrex Ice Rider. You know, yes, a lot of trainers do very well in this tournament with more trick room oriented versions.
Diego, come on, chi 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 le le le.
Calyrex Ice Rider can actually.
Okay, I don't want to root too much for Diego on social media because I feel like Wolf fans might be a little bit angry at me. But I mean, I like both of them. Can't I? I do feel like tweeting a Chile flag now, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you shaking, Shiny? I'm sure you are. You're getting a lot of funny quotes on your social media, right?
Secure, but the other Pokemon are just hard hitting. Urshifu, Rillaboom, Thunderclap on Raging Bull, right?
I am shocked. This is. I mean, this must not be good on Wolf as well, like for his psychological. Like that's why it's so hard to like have a very good winning streak. Like you're like so confident, but lost twice. Boom. Where do you go from here? Like how do you put this stuff together? Like Wolf is very experienced. I'm quite sure he's gonna. He is going forward in this competition, but then again. It is a, oh look, somebody's putting a Sprigatito to the camera. I love you, person putting the Sprigatito to the camera. But this is gonna be, like, Wolf is gonna have some difficult next hours processing this, I'm sure.
Definitely one of my favorite Pokemon. I also love the upgrade, the Flex Shiliang, top cut NAIC with...
Shiny, I can guarantee you, you're gonna have a few K likes on that Twitter. Don't worry. On that tweet. I guarantee you.
I think we gotta go to Lou with an interview with Shiliang before all the Wo-Chen believers
like
come
the
after
Twitter
you.
engagement for this Worlds has been insane. Like I haven't had this many notifications on my Twitter account like ever.
Congratulations! What an amazing win! The crowd are going crazy for you. Honestly, how are you feeling after that incredible set? Game 3
Wolf lost twice, chat.
Yeah, I do agree. Game 3, I think I had huge advantage until my Calyrex got -1 IV Kaijo crit. Things are getting much harder, so I was... Well, it doesn't feel well at that moment, but I need to quite get myself recovered and think what should I do.
Well, Diva, it's our time to shine. It is. It is the World Cup for Pokemoners, so... It's also really cool to see a less recognized player like Diego making it so far into Worlds. Yes, for sure.
It was unlucky at that turn, but
the Brazilian VGC divas are thriving. Am I a VGC diva? I'm not sure. Am I?
Incineroar with those Will-O-Wisps. Can you talk us through a little bit about why Incineroar was so key in that Game 3?
Yeah, so
I'm just a shiny hunter.
Their critical months. My game plan was
So Cychrome is EVM. Cychrome is keeping an eye open for the matches on the official websites and stuff. So they were the ones who brought the information, but
I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that teal mask as well because
it's stressful. Like it is.
The crowd was going wild when we saw that reveal. Talk us through
I'm positive that
why
Wolf
the teal
lost.
mask was there in game 3.
Yes, so
Cychrome, your pronoun. Sorry. Can you remind me?
And he doesn't bring bolt. So I think teal mask is a better adjustment that it can follow me, help my other mons to deal better into Rillaboom and Urshifu.
Well, that makes perfect sense, and you can see how well you were able to pilot it. I always like to ask people up here a bit of advice for some newer trainers, because in this particular game, obviously game 3 started really well for you, but then Victor took you right to the wire at the end. How do you keep your
I love that they are doing like the Taylor Swift kind of bracelet thing for this world. Like,
Yes, so I think
what does her
the most important thing is that when
bracelet
you get
say?
unlucky, don't panic. There's always some way to win out the game.
Cecily, you're so lovely inside and out. Thank you. Thank you so much. Day. Okay, then I got the day correct.
Like today, there was another game I got like 5 full para in a row, which cost me a game, but I still trying to not get tilted and play the best every single turn. I think another thing is I think the earphone of the stream table is very loud. It has a lot of my voice.
The earphone is very loud.
Okay, so helps keep a nice calm composure throughout the game. Fantastic, really good advice for the trainers out there. Well, we always like to ask as well, are there any shout outs to people back home watching, people in the crowd who I can already see cheering for you? What would you like to say to them?
Yeah, so I would like to thank all my friends who's cheering for me. I see a lot of them, and especially my team builder partner. We have Toller, we have Justin, we have William, we have Ultra. And also, most importantly, I want to thank my family and my wife for keeping
I thought we were gonna get another boyfriend moment, but it's a wife, which is fine. Love is still nice, even if it's
Wait
straight.
to see you in Top Cut, and best of luck in the rest of the competition. Of course, the Pokemon action is going to keep going here at the Pokemon World Championship, so don't go anywhere as we keep it rolling.
Okay, let's check the social, the mental health website for the Machamp champion. This is fun. I think they're doing cool content. Like, it just feels a little bit overproduced somehow. I don't know. It doesn't appear for me. Like, my algorithm doesn't show me this stuff. Love is nice, even if it's straight. I'm heading out. Have a nice evening, Robbie. No, it's not evening for you, right? Have a nice time, Robbie. And good luck with your video. Send me the link when you are finished with it. I will have a good night. Thank you. Okay, so what I want to do is go quickly check the mental health website. Are people talking about Wolf? So Scrovy GC just made a bold statement here that Chilean Tang is the best player in the world. Do we vibe with that, chat? Among Us? This is a spiritual experience. What? Watching Wolfglix run at the 2024 World Championships. Grant is celebrating. So this is very fun. So to all the Brazilians in the room, I'm a huge fan of Vida Treinador. They are very gay also, and they are very fun and they are very helpful. I messaged them a couple of weeks ago asking for some help, and they were super quick to enter out. So I highly recommend this Pokemon fan page. After missing Lorelei last year, this year, Ana Prosser ran away from poverty and shouted, "I am rica," which in Portuguese means I'm rich. I think she's just giving the lesbians what the lesbians want. I'm sorry. Okay, but nobody's talking about Wolf losing though. Okay, Bascos. I posted this and Wolfie lost his next 2 sets. Do you have any comments here? We all got too excited. The world is punishing us. Bring back old Wolfie, please. No, I'm actually losing it. Uh-oh. Yeah. Like, this is the thing. Like, the losing 2 games is still very good. Like, as a general score. But because he was doing so well, everybody's now getting desperate. So that's kind of the curse of being undefeated, right? Yeah, Diego beat Wolfie. That's what we are checking. Like, let's search Diego here. It's probably a terrible thing to look for. Yes. Wolf. Yeah, no. The Twitter search engine is terrible. It's horrible. Like, my Twitter, like, this is not normal. Like, I don't have this number of notifications usually. Okay. I need some wolf content on my Widow's being cute to Sugi. Okay, then now we have weird Twitter vibes. Okay, so not a lot of people were talking about Wolf yet. That's why you should watch it on my stream, because here you get information always first. We are always talking the important talks. We're talking about outfits, we're talking about cosplays, we're talking about hair, and we are talking about Diego and Wolf. I'm rooting for Wolf, don't get me wrong, but I'm also rooting for Diego, and yes. I am bisexual. I cannot make up my mind. I am so sorry. Overproduce is the way of the future. Gen Alpha won't pay attention unless Veronica assault their senses within. But what I mean by overproduce is like it look, and it doesn't make any sense because of course, yes, it is made by a company, but it looks too corporate somehow. Like I think it doesn't look very YouTubey, you know. I don't know if that makes sense. You're the best Pokemon player ever. Me? Pokemon is an RNG based game. Anyone can lose. I mean, it is, but it's like Wolf is doing, right? You can reduce the amount of RNG that is based on it. But I am not a good Pokemon player. Like, I go watch my Luminescent Platinum run. I am losing to gym leaders like much more often than I should. But yeah, top cut in 2 minutes. And no shiny shaymin. Not everyone can win, but everyone can lose. That is a good point. Bleh. This is my reaction to bleh comments. I'll pay attention to it later. Now I'm paying attention to this Charizard wearing a magician's costume. Actually, no. Let's talk about this comment. I think it's a fun thing to, because I usually look at these comments by myself, but being on stream, I think it's interesting. Okay, so Swordmaster305 looked at our video that is titled "How Queer-Friendly Are Pokemon Tournaments?" which is a valid question, in my humble opinion. This title, this way of thinking, no. This title, this way of thinking, no. Just no. Pokemon is everyone, yes, but like that's all there needs to be. No need to add more stuff to it like this. What is this person trying to say? Like, keep wokeness out of my Pokemon game? Like, Pokemon is for everyone, but let's not talk about how much for everyone it is? Is this what's bothering Swordmaster 305? Like, usually, this is not a hateful comment, so I don't usually delete these kind of things. I usually just, like, hide user from channel if they're being, like, openly homophobic, which is kind of gonna be, but, like, not I've seen much worse. It's what I want to share here. But like, I've been getting a couple of comments like this in this video recently, like, why do we need to talk about how queer-friendly Pokemon Tournament is? And it is a super positive video. I'm saying, hey, it is queer-friendly. If you're queer, join. It's fun. It's nice. Like, I talked to queer people and they all told me, it's fun. Come join. It's welcoming for everybody. And I did a video talking exactly about that. And that bothered Sword Master 305 so much. Like, what gives? It is... yeah, this just want to share a little bit like how this content creation thing goes, and like, because I am a person that really likes to read comments. I read all of them, I swear to God. So please leave comments on my videos. I'm always happy to read them. But it's these ones that sometimes like I wouldn't give a lot of attention to it, but since I opened it on stream, I just wanted to go over it and hear your opinions too. Like, why is Swordmaster 305 that bothered by the fact that I'm discussing... And we just saw a queer person talk about his boyfriend on a live stream for, I don't know, 20,000 people live. Like, these are players that are playing there. They are part of this community. Oh, we're talking about Wolfie. We'll look at that soon. Like, these are players that are playing there. They are actively part of the community. But somehow, this way of thinking, there's no need for it. There's no need to talk about queerness. It is for everyone, but not everyone. You get it, right? Of course you do. You're all clever, dear strangers online. Okay, so back to chat. What color is Shiny Shaymin? It is blue. It is like that blue that is very toothpaste blue. New Delphox skin, Twotza. Delphox is so cute. I do like Delphox. I really like my shiny Delphox. It is a fun one. This is a dude who ironic says, I don't see color. And spoiler alert, he does see color. We need to make sure spaces are accessible and safe for queer folks. Obviously, yes, we do. Not green enough. Hey, I'm back. Any shiny Shaymin yet? No shiny Shaymin yet. Shaymin is still green. These comments make me laugh so much. Yes. Me too. I don't laugh, really. I don't think Swordmaster 305 is that funny. Like, he's just... And it's so clear when you see that the person leaving the comment literally did not watch the video. They are just commenting on the title, right? The paradox of tolerance. Precisely, yes. Okay, Swordmaster 305, go, like, talk to the void. This is the most attention you're ever gonna get on this channel. Okay, chat, can we just talk about the next most important thing on this stream, which is this giant Sprigatito plushie right here? Like, how do I get one? How much does it cost? And I don't have the money to get it, but I want it. How much longer do I need to stream until I become like sponsored by the Pokemon company and then send a giant plushie of Sprigatito to my house? Because I really want it. I love a hate comment. It is funny. Yes. Like you're gonna... Yes, precisely. That is the point. Let's watch Worlds, right? We're watching Worlds.
More of in this competition. Of course, we got trainers from all around the world. We got to talk a little bit about, someone who we haven't necessarily gotten to see, but this was someone as well that has just been making his way throughout the competition.
I paused it. I was looking for the...
It's kind of fun to watch this, right? It's a shame we didn't get to see him play any games, but I mean, something feels very appropriate.
Red Eyes showcase its status as the... I'm not gonna say that because I'm trying to be friendly for the Pokemon company. Who are definitely watching this stream right now. The most important thing of the stream is the Goldeen in the back. I like Goldeen. I think it is definitely a Pokemon. With your head over the host like you're hosting the tournament. I am, kind of. Are you not watching the tournament on the Cecilia YouTube channel?
coming off its best tournament of the season at NEIC, and I think a lot of us are kind of expecting it to flounder a little bit, and both of them are here together, ready to prove that they're able to take it even further.
Yeah, I mean, the Terrapagos pick in general, we touched upon it
Friendly.
a little bit earlier with how we kind of surprised at how well it came into this tournament, or represented at least. And you know, no surprise, having that success with it, I think earlier in the season just shows that there's a real confidence with this Pokemon in particular, and showing exactly
What are you talking about,
Ogrepon? There, being at this stage of the tournament, coming here and really putting on a show and looking very strong going into the latter stages of the World Championships.
Definitely someone that when the parents go up for our top cut, I'm going to be right away taking a glance at, and I want to make sure that we can get to see him play at some point during this weekend.
Okay, quick question. Is the final today? It's not, right?
And someone else that we haven't necessarily gotten the opportunity to see this weekend, but we have seen a lot throughout the season, has been Marco Silva, of course, LASC champion from this season, two-time international winner now, and this was actually Wolf's first loss was to Marco, so you can definitely tell he has been on a tear. And we're looking at the team, the Calyrex Shadow Rider, very strong attacking option with that Heartflame Ogrepon.
Yeah, very
Terrapagos, my beloved. Terrapagos is precious. I like Terrapagos and Ogrepon. I like Ogrepon better, obviously, because the story is better. But Terrapagos is a friend. It's definitely a friend.
Extremely well versed player, you know, the accomplishments
that Kieran tried to lock inside a ball.
Playing not only this season,
yeah, the finals are Sunday, right?
He's a formidable opponent.
But like there are a few more hours to go, I guess. Like how long has this live been going for? I think it's a lot.
Was able to overcome Wolf when he was on such a tear.
No idea.
Wolf is one of those players.
Oh yeah, for what? No.
So these Pokemon that he's got, the Calyrex Shadow Rider.
Oh, yeah, we've been for 4 hours live. I think we should have 6 more hours. I think that's at least the quarterfinals are going on today, right?
Why he's one of the big threats.
Or is tomorrow just the final, or is it like the final and the semifinal?
5 of the 6 same Pokemon as Wolf is the Heartflame Ogrepon.
Because I don't want to go to sleep and wake up and then like Wolf and Diego are both eliminated and I lost it.
Watching all weekend, you know, what sort of strategies you win out? Is it going to be kind of players who are just kind of like playing this balanced style to the best of their ability, or players?
Today's technically Sunday. You are correct.
The matchup a little bit more, something wonkier. Both these players, you know, I think have
but
been
not in Hawaii.
For a long time, opting to play off their experience a little bit, just trying to force players to outmaneuver them. And so far they've only been able to outmaneuver one another.
6 more hours. I'm not gonna be awake for 6 more hours. I'm sorry.
He's very close to being able to top that for this year. So excited to see him moving on forward. We were talking about the matchups and the players we saw at the beginning of the day.
Gay rights! Can I get gay rights in the chat?
Into this day 2 was undefeated.
It's weird to see him like credited as Australia when he's from Chile, right?
When we're looking at the tournaments, we are seeing a really strong restricted like Calyrex Ice Rider. That's well represented. But the Torkoal, the Indeedee, the Ursaluna, the Kale, like this is Trick Room, this is creativity to its max, and obviously something that's really being able to kick off through the competition.
Yeah, this is like one of those teams where you come into the
Can you imagine if Diego used Torkoal to beat Wolfie? That would have been fire, literally.
Here. And how focused this team is on Trick Room in general, you know, I think all game plan that Diego's got is get that Trick Room up. You've got the redirection in the Ogrepon, you've got the redirection with the Indeedee, you've got the Psychic Terrain to really support that Trick Room setup. You've got that Imprison as well, which is a really unique and smart way to prevent your opponent from maybe reversing the
No, it's not 6:45, it is midnight 45
if you're
right
a trainer watching at home and you want something a little bit more creative and innovative to win, you should be rooting for Diego. I think this is exactly the sort of team that everyone dreams of building, innovative to win.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, if you're a trainer watching at home and you want something a little bit...
Trying to deny you the trick.
Listen to the caster.
Yeah, if you're a trainer watching at home and you want something a little bit more creative and innovative to win, you should be rooting for Diego. I think this is exactly the sort of team that everyone dreams of building, where using a bunch of Pokemon that we're not expecting to see a whole lot of. I think, you know, if you saw that group of 6 and you had to guess if it was 9-0 or 0-9, you might get it wrong. But he really put together a group of...
There are 2 things we love on this stream, and chat's going to agree with me. There are 2 things that we stand. 1, creative and innovative teams, which Diego's bringing. The second thing is LGBT people, which... So yes, I love you, Wolfie, but I'm also rooting for Diego. And yeah, I hope you both battle again in the final. I would love to watch that.
Pokemon that works here, using a bunch of strategies that no one else thought of, and I think it's just something to be really scared of if you're in the field, because this isn't what players were preparing to defeat.
Yeah, and it's, I think as well, the one thing I would say about Diego is as well, we watched that match with him against them.
We also love Latin Americans. That's something that I find important to mention.
Antonio, and that game one didn't really go the way that probably Diego wanted to, but he was able to adapt so well in that game.
I am across the Atlantic.
Turn around against such a formidable opponent, and then come out on top of that, and then progress on to the tournament where we are going to see hopefully a little bit more of them today.
I mean, that adaptation is key because, like, you're right. You got to make sure you're prepared against so many things going into the World Championships. And I'm sure players have definitely, you know, thought about this hard trick room because that sun.
I'm not taking anybody out of the closet
You're
here.
not too well up, like you're not too weak to. But when there's all of these big bad restricteds out there, there's all these different team archetypes, it can be hard to be absolutely prepared for everything. And being able to see that and how he was able to outmaneuver, definitely well deserved of this top cut spot.
You farm those clips for Twitter. Both of you to assume that I'm going to be using that for Twitter only.
Everybody tries, and in some ways it's easier. Just like, okay, well,
No, I would never openly support anybody that's not Wolfie on Twitter. They would go for my head.
Right? I think it's easy to kind of wind up pretty deep in your
I'm joking. They would not go for my head. Some people might actually. It's kind of like people are really hardcore for Wolfie.
He believed in what he had, right? Yeah, it's just so easy to get cold feet with this sort of thing. Really impressive run.
I mean, we talk about the adaptations, we talk about the cool different teams, but we can even talk a little bit about the cool plays that we get to see throughout the day. Even just that final win-and-in match that we had between Victor and Shi Liang, because this is one, Scott, I mean, you were freaking out about this one backstage.
Yeah, I mean, I think both these players are really good, but I think this is one of the strangest, like, GOAT plays I've ever seen. It's almost always wrong in VGC to use the combination of follow me and fake MSBC.
I think if Wolf came out as buying videos on Twitter would stop. It would, but I think that we would freak out more than an average viewer. I think that a lot of, like, I don't want to say that because I'm taking it out of my ass. Actually, I'm not. I have gotten a couple of comments against it. But I feel like there are some people who follow Wolfie and don't realize how big of an ally he is. Like, people who leave sometimes nasty comments on my videos, and they will be subscribed to Wolfie, so I think that those people might have been in for a surprise, but I mean, it's not his fault or responsibility or whatever. It's just like, when you have a big audience, you're gonna have a big audience. But and even like, yeah, I don't know. We're just let's stop speculating about people's sexuality that we don't know anything about. Like, it's fine, everything's fine. Like, if people are gonna come out, they're gonna come out. If they're not, it's also nice. We like the players for who they are, and if they want to share their life with us, it's the nicer. But if not, that's also nice. It's okay to be straight. Cecily likes straight people. Pass it on.
Dive into it.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, the beauty about all of these matches, you know, in the moment sometimes you can miss some of these really integral plays that these players are making and how smart they are in those situations. But when you look back at them, you reflect on them, you think, wow, okay, that was what the overall game plan was. And
that's on them for being as dense as a tungsten cube.
All the time. And it's why having these moments like this where we can dissect, we can go back and maybe have a closer look at why that player made that decision and how pivotal it was in that specific moment.
Oh yeah, no, I'm quite sure that's exactly, I reckon Steve, that's exactly what would happen.
And that's what really makes the difference when you get into the World Championships, because as you said, of course, Shi Liang just played absolutely incredible, getting a lot of turns right.
I have a lot of straight friends, I'm not even lying.
But it's always sad to say goodbye to another really talented player. And that's where the heartbreak here at the World Championships comes in, and it's only going to be more because we're looking at the top cut ahead of us. And of course, when we're looking at the top cut, we do have to talk about that difference between that buy that you get and how it can set you like in such a better. We do have to talk about that difference between that buy that you get. And
I just heard she's saying like, you talk about the difference about that buy that you get. I think I'm hanging with too many queers. Like this is brain rot. Like that buy that you get. I'm like, which buy? Whose buy? Like, seriously, chat. I need a detox.
We're looking at the top cut. We do have to talk about that difference between that buy that you get.
She literally said, but it's not my fault, it's hers. I'm sorry.
And how it can set you like in such a better path than the players that have that one more round that they have to play.
Yeah, I kind of love that of all the years to have kind of this shift in format. I don't think a bye has ever been more valuable than the
I don't think a buy has ever been this valuable. This is literally what they are talking about on the stream. Well, how is this my fault? How is this my fault? Come on, guys, you're not making this easy on me.
that of all the years to have kind of this shift in format, I don't think a bye has ever been more valuable than the beginning.
I don't think a buy has ever been more valuable. Chat.
Championships, we are a matchup-based game, right? Where you kind of know going in, you want to guess what your opponents are likely to bring, and kind of stack your matchups against the most likely counts, right? But there's always going to be other archetypes that sneak through into the top cut, right? You just don't want to be paired with that. I think just avoiding that scenario entirely by kind of getting through one round for free because of your fantastic performance throughout the rest of the tournament is really crucial this year. So the players who earned it, and it could make a big difference for them as they try and avoid getting those negative restricted Pokemon matchups.
Yeah, and that's where too
the official Pokemon VGC stream says buy visibility, buy rights. Gonna get buy rights in the chat.
We're talking about this undefeated records and that Wolf was undefeated but now has then taken the 2 losses should be in a strong enough spot to still be okay, but where
are we watching Wolf again? Who are we watching now? We're behind on the stream.
The concept, the builds of those 2 teams are so different, and which one is going to kind of rise to the top, be cream of the crop, and be the champion. So yeah, I'm not going to put my hat on anyone just yet. I think it's a safer bet. What about you though, Sierra? You got a little call there?
See, I was thinking about looking back at the competition because I know Joe Brown was doing this cool segment where he was going back throughout the worlds of stages and the call for worlds, and I've been thinking back to try and figure out if I think there has been quite a call yet that I can say like wow is the call, but I think I'm still holding out because I think we've seen a lot of really great meta calls and adaptations. Being able to see Terra Normal on a lot more Pokemon I think has been really cool because obviously that matches up into the Calyrex Shadow Rider and we get like these little tweaks here, little tweaks there, but I think I'm holding off a little judgment until Top Cut and waiting for like that pivotal moment to be like wow okay this was
we support by rights and we support by wrongs.
Speaking of Terra types, by the way, I think that's been one really cool thing to me this weekend where I really feel like, even compared to last year's World Championships, we've seen so many different Terra types. For a while there, it kind of just felt like, especially like the fire, water, grass Terra types were just so dominant for what they did. But gee, I feel like we've seen almost every Terra type in the game over the course this weekend, right? Especially with the Ice Rider Calyrex, I feel like maybe the trainers went to the Pokemon Center, you got that cool new dice set, and like Poison Terra, Normal Terra.
I don't think they're gonna show Wolf again.
Different strategies have worked. We're finally seeing
like they just went over like 3 players that were not on stream yet, so I think it should be one of them. I think they will avoid repeating players as much as they can. That's why they opened with Wolf, really, because everybody was hyped to watch him. Do we know exactly when round 12 is beginning? Like, is it now?
Subtle creative plays that trainers have made. I think it's really inspiring.
I think that's a really cool thing that we've gotten to see from this World Championships in compared to last year's. Because last year's was a lot of fun because you didn't really know what to expect going into it because it was a brand new format for Worlds. Whereas this year, since we've had some Regulation G events, since we did have about 2 months, a month and a half in the summer to kind of really dive into it, that trainers have really made sure they've gone to the depths of the team building. They've really just made sure no stone has been left unturned. And I think it's just absolutely brought out the match.
Pokemon.
Sure,
like, I love you guys. I love your game. I love your company. I love your team.
Yeah, okay, maybe we've seen
I can't stand looking at this table anymore. Please don't show it to me. I'm gonna go to the mental health website. Since this Shaymin does not want to shine, my notifications are on fire. Let's listen to some match. So, Studio Matcha. So, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to use this, but I just putting it in the back. Sorry, Studio Matcha, if I'm not allowed to, but it's a cover of a song in a way. It's a very cool Japanese studio. They do like the super cute animations that I love. and these lo-fi remixes. I think it's nice to put in the background just as a vibe. I'm sorry, Matcha, if I can't use it. I'm just a small town girl living in a lonely world. V's so cute. Like, look on! They met with Junichi Masuda! Look at the huge plushies! Oh, this is nice. And I love the Team Rocket outfit. This is cool. I love like, it's so cool to watch people with worlds. It is... the set was insane. Let's go Shin Tang. It was insane. Electric Wind Girlfriend. It was, like... Okay, oh, Robbie for Short is tweeting here. I do... Go follow Robbie for Short. Girly Pop Cup. Oh... Somebody's farming some engagement here, I can see. He still hasn't dropped the game. This guy's LeBron, I don't care. He dropped the game, let's see. Do you think Incineroar is controlling Wolf like it's Ratatouille? God. Oh yeah, they did this. Oh, they also did this super fun shiny challenge that they tried to have 8,192 encounters in an hour. So yeah, looks fun. Looks like they're having fun. More Junichi Masuda picks. I want to see people talking about Wolf. Let's not talk about Verlisify, please. Let's not talk about Verlisify. Twitter, can you please put some Wolf tweets on my timeline, please? I feel sad for Aaron, like, poor guy. Like, he deserved to make it at least into day 2. Can't sleep, keep replaying my loss in my head over and over again. Such is the life. It is, like, you win, you lose. Like, it is as it was said in this chat before, Pokemon is definitely a game you can lose. We have a lot of... Masuda's just walking around taking selfies, like, that's basically it. He should be handing out shiny eggs, though. Is this porn? I don't know. I'm gonna look at what this is off stream. Okay, let's go back to what's important. I don't want to look at this.
Indian, it's been a force ever since, but there is a couple coming out from Lou and from Rose here talking about that Kyogre.
So let's talk about this very quickly. I've seen quite a few dittos on a few teams, honestly. Like, I'm sorry that we had Verlisify on this stream. It was not my intention. I was talking about Ditto. I've seen a few Dittos on day 2 teams, and it's very interesting actually, because did somebody watch any match with a Ditto? Are they just running imposter Ditto? Is that what it is? Because that's very... Or is it Terra something Ditto? Like, what's the catch? Can somebody explain me the Ditto play?
During this tournament, but I'm not also going to be surprised if we don't see it over as well.
I mean, hopefully we'll be able to see one in Top Cut and beyond and see if it is capable of taking down the...
Where are we talking? Where's Shining Alone Central? Oh, you got us Shining Alone Central! Congratulations!
It's going to be up shortly, so thank you so much.
Hope I can get some of that luck for my Shaymin.
series where we showcase important matches throughout the history of competitive.
Celesteela last chance.
This is the first World Championships held in the Alola region with Pokemon Sun and Moon. Our classic battle took place in the top 4 match between Tomoyuki Yoshimura and Ryota Atsumo. Japan was guaranteed to have a representative in the finals, but who would come out on top? Tomoyuki had experience playing in multiple World Championships.
Thanks for the luck.
This time around, he made the right call on the metagame. With Ultra Beast on his team like Nihilego to deal
No, I like Tapu Koko. I think it's a cool legendary. Like, it's amazing design, by the way. Like, and I really like this shiny Tapu Koko that I got for free, so...
But Ryota was not to be outdone. As the reigning Japanese national champion, Ryota wanted to solidify his claim to being the best player in the world. With a twist on the common double Tapu core, Ryota brought a team to support his choice specs Tapu Fini. But the real star of his team was Celesteela, the launch Pokemon. Many trainers feared Celesteela's ability to single-handedly bring back games from the depths of defeat, and Ryota would need a heroic effort out of Celesteela to win this set. In a game that lasted over 30 minutes, Celesteela showed just how unstoppable it can be thanks to Leech Seed recovery. If Tomoyuki wanted to keep his championship hopes alive, not only did he have to win game 2, but he needed to do it fast. There wasn't enough time left in the round to play another slow game against Ryota, so Tomoyuki would need to be on the offensive. But sometimes the best offense is a good defense, and Assault Vest Salamence was just bulky enough to keep him in the game.
Crocodile was fun. I like the Ash Ketchum sunglasses Crocodile.
Fini of all things. And I know it's not known for its really big special attack, but it's still one of these taboo Pokemon. As the trainers actually round out the game, shaking their hands, Tomoyuki will be the victor.
The clock was ticking, and 50 minutes wouldn't be enough time to finish this epic set. This meant our trainers would be concluding this match in the most dramatic way possible, plus 3 turns. If a match exceeds the round timer, 3
Oh, I got it. So, okay, so thanks Internet Explorer, the thing that we're saying Ditto is just so a restricted Pokemon can be copied, and then you have like 3 restricted Pokemon on your team, which is clever. I've only heard of Dittos in singles, and then it's basically just a choice scarf user. Once you just let your opponent like set up and do like 15 Dragon Dances, and then you just send in Buster Ditto and you sweep them. You give them a taste of their own medicine. I used to, like, that was my Smogon OU Ditto play. But it's clever, then you just have, what, 2 Calyrexes on your team, basically.
Celesteela wasn't the only Ultra Beast to show up big in this match. While the fighting type Buzzwole faced off against a fairy type and a flying type, Tomoyuki made an incredible read with his Z move to try to...
Funny situation of 3 Calyrex on the field thanks to Ditto, yeah. Makes sense now.
Like it is in the trading card game. In this case, it's a Buzzwole. It's going to be dealing some pretty sizable damage. It would like to get that on Celesteela, I think. A Pokemon that sometimes...
Maybe that's how Wolfie managed to have like 2 Incineroars.
Pokemon advantage for Tomoyuki going into turn 3. Ryota could see his hopes of victory slipping away. This was Celesteela's last chance to launch Ryota into the annals of VGC history.
It's been so close coming down to the wire, but Buzzwole's doing what it does best with the Z move. No, protect from Tomoyuki. Instead, Sludge Bomb into that Tapu Fini. Not going to knock it out. Instead, Moonblast into the Buzzwole for the knockout. Ryota clawing his way back.
What is this Buzzwole fainting animation? I haven't seen this in a very long time.
Celesteela, Ryota won an unbelievable set against Tomoyuki and would go on to lead Anaheim as the VG 2017 Masters Division World Champion. Thank you for watching.
Buzzwole? Do you say Buzz? It's Buzzwole, right? Or Buzzwole? How do you pronounce? I just realized you cannot answer me because you're typing, but I love you, Sprigatito. I love you, Quaxley. I love you, Fuecoco. I like the animation style though, too. Funny how thanks to Resistance, Motoki Agano, the one of the Altaris of Lake Roundum team, is 69th overall. Nice.
Of the 2021 World Championships. It is absolutely heating up in here as we start barreling towards the top cuts for all of our
Yeah, I think that's the point. It should have a swole in it, like Buzz Swole.
to unite, finishing out their ceremonies later on today.
Oh, without the S, so Buzz Swole. Okay.
Joined by Lou Akashkromi to bring you through our very first match of our top cut for the video.
Rosemary, if you're watching my stream, which you're not, can you please stand up so we can know if you're wearing a dress or a top? It is very vital information for this stream.
Limited amount of players left in the knockouts. There is no room for error. Every single game counts at this point because if you lose your set, you're out of the competition and everybody wants to be that world champion.
Before then, our players were allowed 2 match losses in order to find themselves here in the top cut. So you're right, the stakes have never been higher to look forward to.
Okay, we were watching Taran Birdie against Navit Joshi? Sorry, how do you pronounce it? I killed it. Navchi Joshi. Okay, so Wolf's playing Kylan Van Severen, and Diego is playing Hirofumi. Ooh. Ah, this is tough. I wanted to watch Diego. Damn it. Let's go. I think 2 more matches for this stream, or 1 more match. This is taking too long. I need to go to sleep soon. And I'm streaming on my phone, so my phone is on fire right now, basically. And we lost a lot of viewers too. Like when we were watching the first match with Wolfie, we had like 50 people, now we're down to half. Yes, that's a different Diego, sorry. Where's Diego?
Regional championships as well, where it did end up in that.
Yeah, that's a Canadian Diego.
Still very good. That is a day 2 performance. And
yes, sorry, there are 2 Diegos. Thanks, chat.
These players as we look forward to this. But I mean, taking a look at all of our matchups, Shiliang Tang, we did just get a chance to see him win on stream. I know you got a chance to talk to him as well.
Oh,
that was
wonderful.
an exhilarating match.
I honestly don't know how he was still standing at the end of that game 3. It went right down to the wire against Victor Medina. So many moves and counter moves, getting all the little damage rolls from the Grassy Train, from the Will-O-Wisp burns, and all of just the critical hits that were coming through as well. Just fantastic to see the play. And for Shiliang to hold his composure the whole way through that set.
It's good that you're paying attention, chat. I'll make some mistakes for you to correct me every now and then.
But that X2 record looking good.
I mean, Grant Weldon, though, I think this is a player from the United States that's been so fun to watch in these last couple of Regulation G events. Have been battling through the World Championships with a Zacian and Reggie Drago team. I know, remember, we got Nils Dunlop on the stream yesterday, who had that Reggie Drago as well, and he was talking about how it almost feels like a restricted in its own right. I feel like Grant is another one of those players showing just that.
Well, when you pivot it into the correct position on the board, it can do so much damage as well. Being able to just go through so many competitors, and we are seeing a little bit of a shift to drag a Terra type as well, because with that Dragon typing, when there's Firewater Grass cores everywhere, you're going to be taking that resisted damage. So I think making sure that you can maybe catch some of these cheeky Terra Dragons with your own Dragon type attacks can be really, really nice.
It really can. And I'm looking at the bottom of this list as well to watch Song Jae-jong versus Shohei Kimura. Shohei, of course, our reigning world champion from 2023 Worlds. And Song Jae-jong coming into this World Championships with a second from the Korean national qualifiers. That is so impressive, especially considering that their format was a little bit different to what we expected and play here at the World Championships. So you know that adaptation has to be there.
I think that's a really good point, actually. They may not be as experienced in kind of Regulation G, let's say. It's really been kind of Regulation F that's been playing in their kind of local circuit. So being able to come in without having practice in a kind of competitive field, face-to-face with other competitors in this format does just show how amazing it is that they're still finding success in that particular thing with all the restricteds running around.
Yes, and the restricted Pokemon too. I think that's going to be very interesting to look at when we dissect our Top Cut a little bit more. Hope you all enjoyed the Top Cut preview that we had in the lounge just a couple of minutes ago. But I know that we have so much more to cover, especially as we start to get towards actually getting some of these Top Cut matches on stream. But Lou, what's been kind of your favorite moment from just today even?
Do you know what? Honestly, sitting backstage and watching that game 3 between Victor and Shilian, although it was like the most recent memory, but the reason it stood out for me was because I was taking notes because I knew I was doing the interview, and every single turn I was like, who am I going to interview? Who's it going to? The advantage was just switching constantly between the two players, and that was really, really marvelous. I also loved all of yesterday's stream, I have to say. It was so electric. But let's focus down on the match we're about to watch, Rosemary.
We will do just that. On your left, we've got Terran Birdie, who is going to be rocking this Maridon team. Very standard to a lot of the archetypes that we have seen been built out for this particular restricted. But on Nafji Toshi's side, so exciting to see not just the Icebreaker Calyrex fleshed out in this new way in terms of the balance pieces around it, but Lou, one of your favorite Pokemon in the entire world, and mine as well, that Regieleki.
I am so excited to see that Pokemon, and I cannot wait to dive deeper into the moveset it's running and talk about its utility within this game. But first, we're going to have a little bit of a deeper dive onto Terran's team. So some very interesting Pokemon here, Maridon being one of the key restricted Pokemon that we are bringing here. With the choice specs being able to hit incredibly hard with Electro Drift, as well the trend into being a Fairy Terra type, so Dazzling Game is going to have some potential here on the field, particularly against Pokemon like the Urshifu.
Absolutely, but even looking
Okay, sorry, Chad, I got a little bit distracted.
Especially when it's got that electricity to boost up those defenses, you know that it's going to be a little bit better.
Oh, so Diego has a bye. That's what they were talking about when I started laughing like somebody that didn't understand what they were talking about. They just play restaurant. Okay, so they automatically move on.
On the stream, we've seen Stellar Terra as the Terra type.
It's a bypass. Ah, of course.
And that is something that the Ice Rider Calyrex and Nafjitsa is going to have to be very conscious of.
And it's interesting as well because there is no Fire Water Grass Core combination on Terran's side. There is the Water type Null and
I think I heard my neighbor doing a thing.
I guess, but it's nice to see that Urshifu coming through. That might catch a few people off surprise. On the opposing side, though, for Nafjin, it is going to be that Urshifu.
Okay, who's cute?
We're so used to seeing running a very classic combination.
I'm paying zero attention. Sorry, it's completely on that.
The focus sash that we've seen running around. I'm going straight for the Rosemary. Regieleki is here to stay. We've spoken a lot about fast Pokemon in this meta so far at Worlds, and it really has come through from Pokemon like Maridon. But Regieleki is also very fast, very furious, Transistor, being able to boost up those electric type attacks.
And it did get nerfed a little bit heading into Scarlet and Violet. So even when taking a look at some of the more recent meta games where we did have Regieleki allowed, you're looking at it now and going, there's a Maridon on the other side. Yes. This Transistor is about to be very, very powerful. You don't necessarily need to be able to set it up for yourself if your opponent is gonna do it for you. So Regieleki, definitely one to keep your eyes on. I remember getting a chance to...
I like Regieleki. Actually, Regieleki might be my favorite Regi. I think it's very camp. It's like jumping around. Lost for chat once again. I wasn't expecting anything other than that, honestly.
But there's going to be no kind of juicy water types for the electric to go down into on Terran's team. It just might be the figure up counter. I think if Regieleki comes, it's going to really be here for the electro web, lowering the speed on the opposing side. The Whimsicott, however, also a water type, but the key thing I think Whimsicott is going to be, well, water Terra type, let's just confirm that. But Whimsicott on Terran's side is going to be able to bring that tailwind and get the speed advantage up on his side of the field, get a little bit of momentum going through, because you have some really heavy attackers as well. In the form that
over the iconic Regirock, I am sorry. I just like Regieleki too much.
Which is that Regieleki with his electro webs is
it's a bouncy boy, yes.
With that tailwind. Regieleki is going to be the naturally fastest Pokemon between.
Oh, it's a game at the beach.
So right away, as we get into our first game of this top,
I would definitely shiny hunt for Regieleki, if not that it's a terrible shiny. But I would just like to have a shiny Regieleki.
Absolutely love to see the Regieleki on the field, already applying a lot of pressure with something like the Electro Web to just do some damage into both these Pokemon and lower their speed straight away. However, the Iron Hands has the utility to go for Fake Out, slow down the pace on Navji's side.
Landers is going to go ahead and run away from this one. Sees the Iron Hands and the Airship on the other side and does not want to stick around and find out. But so it's going to be this Orderpon Cornerstone that's going to take its place. But unfortunately, it's got to take that fake out. That's going to break the sturdy ability that it has. And with this Volt Switch, at least Nachi's able to get a bit of a rotation through here and get some damage down to break the Focus Sash on this Urshifu. A big Volt position.
Okay, chat, who are we rooting for?
And like you said, the sturdy's been broken on that Cornerstone Ogerpon. That could be very detrimental later in the game. Or right now, if Urshifu goes for the Wicked Blow, but it's not enough to be able to get the knockout. Ogerpon's going to be able to be hit. Landorus does come back into the field here. I feel like it just didn't want to maybe take the potential double up because it is going to be applying a little bit of threatening pressure here. You could always go for that Sunseer Storm, get a bit of double damage on the field, and that's something Iron Hands will not appreciate.
Absolutely not, and it would definitely clean up the Urshifu as well. So a great call there, Lou. Unfortunately, we have to see whether or not it's actually going to hit its target to see if it can actually get those knockouts. But as you mentioned, Landers being there is the absolute fiend versus this Iron Hand. So it's also going to make the pivot out. Whimsicott, a grass type, able to take those ground types just a little bit better. But it's the Ivy Cudgel that's going to
Whimsicott tanked the Ivy Cudgel. That's crazy.
Going into the Protect for now. But will it connect into this Whimsicott? It does indeed find its mark and able to get the knockout. So Whimsicott comes in. You would think, yes, it's definitely the better Pokemon to take these kind of rock and ground type attacks. But no, it is down and out.
Yeah, Terran winced at that one, absolutely. Yeah. I think, hoping that it would be...
I think it's the first Iron Hands I've seen in this entire competition.
The double up to go into that slot. Now you don't have that Tailwind available, you don't have the Encore either, and so it's going to be a little bit difficult for Terran to try to get ahead of things if this Regieleki comes back.
Okay, are we in for Navjit for because of Regieleki? Yeah, I'm down for that, honestly.
You've got Miraidon, you've got Iron Hand, so they're going to be able to resist a lot of what the Regieleki can throw its way, but you have to watch out for those speed tiers. If the Electro Webs start coming through, that's where we're going to be dropping the speed and leaving them a little bit more vulnerable for some of Navji's Pokemon to clean up in the back. There is that Calyrex Ice Rider potentially in the 4th and final slot for Navji, and that can deal so much damage, particularly to the Miraidon. If
I was out yesterday.
There it is.
Miraidon, though, as it enters the field,
I just up at
off that electric train thanks to the Hadron engine ability. It's going to be boosting up its own attacks as well, but it's not going to do any damage to this Landorus if it is going to try to go for an Electro Drift or a Volt Switch, because it is going to be a ground type. So it's going to be a tough call. Do you try to like Terra, go for the Dazzling Gleam, but then you'll be too
I think Miraidon should like aim for the sprinklers and then it starts pouring water into the stadium and then he uses the electric move on Landorus.
But if Urshifu is able to get the edge on this Landorus and follow up with a Wicked Blow, potentially has the capability to get the knockout, so you don't have to worry about Sludge Bomb at all.
It would be nice because the Miraidon will pick up the Ogerpon first, and then you can guarantee that single target damage into the Landorus specifically without something like the Follow Me. But Terran doesn't want to stick around for that one either. Going to reserve that Urshifu for a bit later. Knowing that Iron Hands does have an Assault Vest equipped, so it would be able to take a hit from this Landorus Incarnate just a little bit better. As it hits the field, you do see that this Quark Drive is going to activate to give this Iron Hands an attack boost.
Yeah, it's got the Assault Vest for the defense and the attack boost to be on the offense as well. So a lot of flexibility coming through from this Iron Hands, and that is exactly what Miraidon wants by its side. The fake out potential going into this next turn and ensuring that this Fairy Miraidon is going to be able to deal a huge amount of damage and stay on the field. But Rosemary is a terrestrialization apiece.
It is a terrestrialization apiece, and that's going to be the Landorus taking on the Terra Poison. One way to get around the Dazzling Gleams is to give yourself this defensive type, but it works both ways because it's also going to be boosting up the power of all of those poison type sludge bombs. With the Ogerpon going for the Follow Me as well, it's just to cover your bases.
That is going to be painful indeed. The Miraidon going for this Dazzling Gleam is going to be able to get the edge onto this Ogerpon and fell it from play. But because the Iron Hand switched in this turn, it's not going to be able to move either and get damage on the board, enabling this Landorus free reign to go for that. It's actually going to go for the Earth Power. That defensive play, but it's so threatening and intimidating of the Sludge Bomb into this next turn. I guess Iron Hands does have the fake out potential, and Regieleki's now joining the field, so there could be some speed shenanigans going on here.
There really can, especially because both of these Pokemon are going to be vulnerable to Regieleki being the fastest one on the field. So if you wanted to try to get that spread damage down, you could.
Chat, I'm actually getting very sleepy. Like this past 5 minutes I completely shut off.
To save that,
and I've been streaming for 5 hours, kinda.
Right now, though, it's also going to be
So
going for protect that.
I
There's a bit of
think
breathing room here for Terran
I don't think I can finish this match. I'm sorry.
also going for the protect for the
I
Arcos
am
that
going
wasn't playing.
to keep an eye open. I really hope
about who's
Wolfie
gonna take
gets
the big cut
through.
just
I
go
really
for
want
this
to react to
defensive
some
option.
other
We know
matches
the
from
Ryan
him.
as well. Then thanks to the choice back.
But I think I'm gonna be closing the live now. So if you're watching it, somebody else. If you're not watching it, somebody else. Go open the official stream from Pokemon. Go watch it with them because I don't think I'm gonna be a very good company for now. Rooting for Regieleki here. Urshifu is down, but yes, I will. Not sure if I'm joining tomorrow. I will be joining tomorrow, like at the end, because I really want to look if they are announcing something for Legends EA. I really want to react to that. But I'm not. I need to know at what time the finals are, because I might try to go for the finals, but no promises. But you will hear of me tomorrow. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. Enjoy Worlds. Engage with queer people on social media. If you are using any of these platforms, go follow the VGC competitors that we just watched on whatever platforms you prefer. Support your VGC players. Yes, most of these people are not gonna get any prize money from this, so they need our support. They need our support as a community, really, to consume their content and to engage with them, and to, like, if we maybe have a 0-speed IV legendary Pokemon, we can borrow it to them to bring it to a championship. Those kinds of stuff. So yes, go root for VGC competitors. I hope Wolfie gets through. I hope Diego gets super far ahead. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Will my computer... Yes! Hearts! Good night, everybody. Good night, lurkers. And thanks for joining, everyone. This was fun. I think it was the stream that I had the most watchers in my life. So it was super fun to watch all the